This is my guy Mike, and drove all the way here because he's the real deal.
It's not like it's a far drive. It's 30 minutes.
A drive is a drive. Some people are like, well, I'm going to drive when I have the convenience of just doing it this
I
way.
crave human interaction, you understand? I learned that from somebody.
And some people are like, what is human interaction? Thanks.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know me, who may be watching this, my name is Michael Shea. I am a Boston-based cinematographer and photographer. I've been doing this officially for about a year, but I've been studying film and photography for a number of years, longer than I've been dancing. I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. And for business inquiries, please be free to contact my Instagram. We can work something out. I do music videos, dance videos, short films, short skits, feature films, product photography, and much, much more. Now that the plug is out of the way.
Mm-hmm. You can go.
Yeah,
All I'm doing is setting up Facebook.
Yeah, so I'm going to start on the topic that Justin ended on. We're going to talk about the ladies for a second, just as serves as a nice transition. You know I'm all about that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I was listening to his entire conversation because I was sitting right here on the couch. It was great, Justin. If you're watching this right now, Justin, you are just a fantastic person. Thanks. And I could tell you, I was sitting over on that couch. I was laughing. I was smiling. I was making comments with my mouth that he was seeing out of the corner of his eye.
Yep.
You know, I really wanted to intervene, but it wasn't my screen time. But so I'll tell you something. Just like Justin, I've been single for nearly 2 years, due to an abrupt catastrophic end of my most recent relationship, which some of you know about and others don't. But I've been dating here and there around them for the past couple of months. Some have been cool, others have been terrible. But today and last night, Baton, let me tell you that I had the pleasure of sharing the company or of being in the company of an exotic Colombian mamacita. And the first thing that fascinated me about her is that her name is Milady. Literally like Milady. Good evening, this is legit, that's her name. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is amazing. And she she lives close to me, and I don't know, I went to go see her last night because she was in town, and we just spent time in the freezing cold, and it was super dope. And then I met her again this morning, and we walked around a pond nearby her house, and it was just I don't know. It was a connection that I've found with someone that I haven't really experienced in a while.
Okay, I thought you were going to say with anybody else. I was like...
No. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. Her and I both share a love for photography.
Okay.
And she's Colombian, so she obviously loves dance. You know, she has a natural...
That natural rhythm.
So it was awesome, and her and I kind of have the same sense of humor, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a good interaction, a good connection that and it's one of those feelings that you get when you're hanging out with someone that you just kind of know, one of those people that you just kind of click with instantly.
Yep.
And it's just wow, I never realized that it was this easy. And usually my game when it comes to like talking to girls and getting the number, taking them on dates, because I'm still very very old fashioned. I'm just due to the way that I was raised. My father was very old fashioned. He was the one that taught me the basics on how to talk to women and how to treat a woman and all this chivalrous stuff like that people think is dead but actually isn't. And like I had like lines prepared. I felt like I was going into like a audition or something, but it just everything just kind of worked, and not because I was like throwing anything at her or anything. It was just super, just real kind of.
Okay.
Usually when I'm talking to girls, it's almost like we're playing a game.
I see. I hate those.
It's like okay. I feel like I'm trying to like do a math test. It's like, okay, how do I say this in the right way? How do I tease her in the right way? When is the best time to respond? Doing all this stupid, tedious stuff to, make yourself out to be this person that you're really not.
Yep. And
it wasn't. This time it's not like that, it's really refreshing.
It's fucking real.
Yes.
When it's real, it's easy, man. So it feels right.
Yeah. So hopefully it turns out all right. Hopefully it goes somewhere. So yeah, that's my update with my romantic life. So
when do I get to meet her? I did that for the live stream, but that's a half serious question.
I mean, I guess
if she's fire, I'm assuming
she is. Like, I will say like she is fucking gorgeous.
Okay.
Like, nice Colombian. She's got an accent, Vitana.
Oh man, accents always win. I'm so.
She's got an accent. She doesn't speak perfect English. So like sometimes she'll say things to me in Colombian, which is like. And I get weak knees sometimes, but I tried to invite her over to my house earlier today because I took my camera and we ended up taking some pictures, and I was like, and she was like really interested in like looking at the pictures and everything, and I was like, why don't you just come back to my house and I'll show you like my editing workflow and stuff like that. Yeah, and I love looking and I could just tell by the way that she responded that she wasn't into it. So I didn't end up doing it because like I'm not the type of person that goes into that stuff really that quickly.
Yep.
I don't. I'm a very old-fashioned person. Like I legit have like a 90-day rule. Like I wait a certain amount of time before we end up getting, intimate, romantic, sexual, and stuff like that. Which sometimes it's like, yeah, it's nice, and other times it happens, and it's just like, why? Because I know some women don't fly like that anymore, and it's just and that's like I don't knock that. It's just me, and she just seems like a nice and genuine soul, and I didn't really want to like do that. So I want to make sure that she's like 100% comfortable with me before I end up taking her anywhere. Because like, yeah, I don't really get anything out of that. Or I don't really get people that get anything out of just doing it just for the sake of the physical transaction. So,
translation.
Who's that?
I have no idea, but they're not speaking English. So
Google Translate.
I can't copy it, so I have to type it.
Oh.
If you can do me a favor, if you are bilingual, if you could type that on Google Translate, if you can't do English, I don't know. but then you could translate it over to us because this is work.
Trying to keep the workflow going, you know what I'm saying?
I want to see what's good, you know what I mean? So that this man can keep speaking and that we can focus on. But I'll just see what this says. Maybe it's an insult. Or maybe it's not.
It's alright. I am impossible to upset.
Cierra la maldita boca.
Do you know that? Do you know this user? Do you know this username?
No. Que pareces
Please
una
state your name and business
boca.
here.
Shut your damn mouth when you eat. You look like a seal.
Oh yes! We're getting into it now, fellas. It's amazing. Hey,
That's so funny. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Seals are the cutest fucking things.
I know, man. Ever seen a baby seal?
That is the best thing I've heard all day.
That is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Thank you so much. From affecting me from wherever you are. That was good.
For members all across the world, we thank you. Okay, so moving on from the subject of women.
Oh man. Oh, okay, we're done with women, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about what's been going on with the business life, because my life has basically two pillars right now. It's my work life, achieving my goals and basically building up my business, and my romantic life. Mm-hmm. Because I kind of hold those two very equal to each other, because everything that I do for myself, I end up also wanting to do that for my family. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I want to, or let me initiate this comment this way.
Oh, hi, Nalene. Sorry. I love you.
Hi.
And Charlie, not Charlie, and Kevin. I love you.
Hello, people. So,
Love you all.
moving on. Mm-hmm. My confidence is unshakable. My goals are inevitable.
Ditto.
And my plan, or not, it's not even a plan, it's what's going to happen. I am going to be
Sounds like me.
I am going to be one of the best filmmakers in the Boston area. In a few years, I am going to be the person that every actor, director, producer, production agency turns to, begging me to be on their project.
He said begging.
Yes. I know it. I believe in it. And I already gave my word that it's going to happen. And basically my life mantra is that I'm a man of my word. So if I give you my word, that's basically a lifetime guarantee that whatever I say is going to happen. So if I give you my word that I'm going to buy you a car, you best believe you're going to get a car. Because like once I say that,
That's so hard.
once I give you my word, I can't go back on it. I can't remember the last time, or I can't remember if I ever went back on my word, ever. Even like when it comes to relationships, like if I say I gave you my word that I'll always have a space in my heart for you, I'll always love you, I'll always be loyal to you. That has always been true. Even if the other person left, cheated, done whatever, I held up my end of the bargain.
I respect that so much.
Just again, that's due to my father and how I was brought up, because he was the same way. And he led by example. He never talked to me about this stuff.
Yeah, he told me this.
And he just basically, he did all of it, and I just observed it. And you already know I'm like a master at learning through observation. And it's been great these past couple of months. I've been consistently busy. I have been working on projects every month, especially like my own personal projects that I do. I do these personal projects, one to practice, one to put the ideas that I can't put on a job onto my own palette, my own canvas. Because if I'm doing a project for somebody, yes, it's great because I have experience working with clients and getting more experience and like knowing how to conduct myself on a business platform when it comes to what I'm doing. And then but even when I'm doing that, I'll have certain ideas that conflicts with my client's interest. For instance, they tell me what they want to do. They give me their vision, and let's say, oh, I want to do this kind of lighting setup. I want to do this kind of lighting setup where the lights are here and there are these colors, and and I give them these ideas, and he tells me, or he or she tells me, no, I don't like that. I don't want that. Doesn't fit with my vision. Doesn't fit with my concept. And I don't argue with it. I just say, fine, we'll do whatever you want. Because if you're working on a client-based business, you cannot or you shouldn't really argue with your client when it comes to the creative process. Because again, you are the one providing the service to that person. So then I basically make a rain check of that idea. I go home, I write it down, and I find a way to shoot it on my own, because it's just me. I don't have a team. I don't have people to like be there to help me shoot. So like I make up these like really obscure ways to move the camera without me being behind it. Because, you know, I did this weird thing one time where I rigged up like this string, because I had my camera on a slider, and I had it on a tripod. So what I did was I tied a string to the plate on the slider, and I ran it down the tripod across the floor, just across the floor, and it went up to me. And I would pull on the string to make the slider go forward and back. So like, and I would keep my hand out of frame so you can't see what I was doing, and just like, and it's cool because it helps my own individual creative process with it just being me. But on the other hand, it's like, oh man, I really wish I wouldn't have to think of all this stuff. Because it's like, it's really mentally taxing when you have something that could be done so easily if you had one other person. It now turns into this huge mental and physical calamity. Because it's just you. And plus doing it by yourself, it really just puts a big smack on your motivation. Because when it's just you have way too much time to think. You have way too much time to reflect. You have just way too much time to think, and then your mind starts wandering and going to different places, and you end up thinking about something that doesn't even have to do with what you have in front of you. And then for me personally, like I'll be editing something, and then I'll do something like, oh, I forget how to do this. Maybe I should look it up on YouTube. Then I go on YouTube, and then I see something from a YouTuber that I like. You put out a new video. I was like, oh, I'll just watch this real quick. That's not 10 minutes. And then from there, I end up being in a big, huge YouTube wormhole for like 5 hours.
Yeah, you told me about that too.
And then I will get up to go to the bathroom, and I'll look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, Mike, you are such a fucking moron. You should hear the conversations that I have with myself.
Okay, I think everyone has fucked up conversations with themselves. To be honest,
I spit the realest shit no one has ever heard before. It's like, oh my goodness.
Some fucked up thoughts.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm a high functioning sociopath. The way that I talk to myself. Because if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, if I'm texting somebody, and then like they'll say something, and then I'll put my phone down, and then I'll continue the conversation with them as if they're still in the room. It's like the weirdest thing. I don't know why I do it, but I just do it. Okay. Maybe it's because I'm rehearsing what I want to say, or I don't know, because I tend to overthink that a lot. Okay. But I have a lot of weird mental. I wouldn't call them disorders. I would just call them weird little nicks or tics that I have. Partly it's due to the way I grew up, and I really hope no one grew up the way that I did, because I was basically...
Wait. I have to decline.
Sorry, Anthony.
Sorry.
So yeah, I was not a lot of people who know this about me. Usually, because not a lot of people have the time to sit down and have a conversation with me. Because usually when I talk to people or when people talk to me, it's usually because we want something from each other.
Yep.
I mean, I've never had somebody hang out with me just because.
Oh yeah, you told me that too. Okay.
Like that's just never happened, which is why I have it so instilled in my brain and in my DNA that I have to have, or I have to provide some kind of value in order for me to have interaction with people. And I've seen this with other people too.
I know that feeling, bro.
And I've seen this with other people too. I haven't seen a single person hang out with somebody just because, or hang out with somebody for no reason whatsoever. I've never seen it happen.
Hang out with somebody
It's usually because the person that you're hanging out with provides some kind of value.
Something, yeah.
Whether in any capacity, whether it be financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, romantically, in any capacity. Mm-hmm. I go to this person because I like them. I go to this person because I enjoy his company. I go to this person because he helps me make money, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. I've never seen one person like just look at somebody and just be and just kind of be with them for like no reason whatsoever.
So if I wanted to go there, not to extract value but to give, that doesn't count either, right? Because that's still a reason.
Yeah, the line is very, very obscured in that there's like a huge gray area which I haven't figured out yet. But it's interesting. It's really interesting. And the reason why I think about it, right, is because I've spent so much time on my own. You know, me being in this community that we're in with everybody, this is the first time in my life where I've actually considered myself to be a part of something.
Yeah.
Because before I moved down here, you know, the friends I had in elementary school weren't friends. The friends I had in middle school weren't friends. The friends I had in high school weren't friends. The friends in my gap year and every year since then weren't my friends. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I moved out of that shithole in Manchester, I came down here. I went to that EM audition.
Manchester.
Yeah.
You showed up out of nowhere.
Right.
I was like, who this man?
Right.
I was like, did Jeff find you? Because I'm confused.
No, you want me to tell you the story?
Yeah, because I don't know it. But I just remember like, oh shit, he's nice. Like, okay.
So, I moved down here. I moved to Arlington, Massachusetts, from Manchester, New Hampshire. And I moved because I was in a toxic environment with the state of my parents and the state of their marriage. Because I am the youngest of 5 siblings, and by the time my folks were having marital issues, all of my siblings were done and moved out, gone to college, gotten their own place, and were completely separated from home. I, on the other hand, was still at home, 17, 18, 19 years old, and I was basically being the vent for my parents' aggression towards each other.
I see.
And what happened was, after I graduated, I considered going to Manchester Community College. Basically because I had this plan where I was going to go to Manchester Community College for 2 years and then finish my other 2 academic years at an actual university, which I didn't figure out which one yet, but I knew I wanted to go for some kind of film, art, form, whatever, right? So that was the plan, but until then, I had to get a job, and I had to start making money, even though I didn't pay rent, I didn't pay any car insurance, I needed a job, apparently, that's what my parents said, which I get it, because, you know, I need to know how to earn $1 and everything like that, all the fundamental stuff that people should know how to do. So, mind you, side note that I did not have a license and I did not have a car, and I was not allowed to drive my parents' car. So wherever I worked and wherever I went to work, I would have to walk there. Didn't have a bike either. So my parents, and this is not, let me just be clear. My parents were not bad people. They are not bad parents by any means in any capacity.
Okay.
They were going through bad marital problems, and they only wanted the best for me. That's why they wanted to push me to get a job, to get my life together, to start making money, and that was their reasoning behind it. They weren't doing it just to, oh, did we lose the live stream?
Yeah, but I'll do it again.
Does that happen normally?
Yeah, but not that soon. Are you gonna turn it around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you can get the stream back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You're good.
Are we all set? Okay. So back to what I was saying about how basically like what my parents were doing. They were not bad parents by any means whatsoever. They were the best
like what my parents were doing.
two people that I could have ever asked for, because they basically saved me from being an orphan
Whatsoever.
And I will get into that story at another time. But back to the struggle of me finding a job. I would go out every day. I lived on the south side of Manchester, which means it was a suburb, and everything north of me was the city, right? Where all of your big skyscrapers were, where your banks, your restaurants, your retail joints, your all this, stuff was. And every single day for quite a number of months, I would walk out of my house and I would walk all over the city with an empty backpack, and I walked into every single store that had a help wanted sign or had a we're hiring sign. I would walk in and grab an application, and I would do this to the point where my bag was nearly full. And I went home.
That's amazing.
I went home. Sometimes I didn't even go home. Sometimes I sat on a bench with a pen and just filled out the applications there.
Sick.
And then I went back to those places and I submitted those applications over and over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, not one place, company, store came back to me with anything. Not one after the it had to be hundreds of places that I applied. Mm-hmm. Not one, because they didn't want to hire an 18-year-old with no experience whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And I could have worked during high school, but my parents told me that school was my only job.
Same.
And so, that kind of screwed me there, because, once I got into the real world and once I decided that I wasn't going to go to college, mm-hmm. I had nowhere to go. So I had no idea what to do. I had no direction, no guidance. And I ended up getting a job at a Macy's, which I worked at. I worked seasonally for a couple months. Mm-hmm. And then I got laid off because reasons, I forget why. It might have been just due to people cutting people, or it might have been something that I did wrong, but I don't even care anymore. But
I hope not.
And then it just got to the point where my family or my parents were just getting completely out of control. And my Auntie Joni, whom is the person who I live with now and who I've been living with for the past 3 years, mm-hmm. She called my mother on a random day and said, "Let me take Mike." Just no build up, no explanation, no reason. She just said, "Let me take him and let me get his shit straight, because you guys are completely inept right now. You guys can't do it." Mm-hmm. And my mother and my my father agreed, and within a week, I had all my shit packed up, and I was off to Massachusetts. And since then, I had a few jobs. I got my license. I got a car that I paid for myself. And I was doing good, right? So this was like the first 2 months that I was here. I was still mainly into dance, right? I wasn't through with dance. I still had a whole bunch of goals that I wanted to complete with dance. And so I wanted to do something. Like I wanted to be a part of a professional company. I wanted to tour. I wanted to perform outside of the state. I wanted to do all these things. And so I saw an ad that a friend of mine, his name is Kai, he sent me a link to an ad for a Street Hype audition.
Oh.
Okay. He sent me an ad to a Street Hype audition, and I was like, you know what? I'll go for it. Screw it. Let's just go. Right? And then he sent me another link to an EM audition, which was on the same weekend. And I believe the Street Hype audition was on a Friday, and the Expressive Movement audition was on a Saturday. So, and Kai, he was just like tossing me links of just like, you know, battles, events, shows, auditions, just anything that he could help me out to get into the scene, because that's what I wanted to do. So big shout out to Kai if you're watching. Thank you, my friend. So I went to the Street Hype audition, and it went well. It was the first time I had ever experienced a 45-minute workout, or warm up. Sorry. So at the end, I was like, I couldn't continue.
Yeah.
It was a struggle that warm up. But though I think we did like 3 pieces. You know, the typical 3-piece, different style. And afterwards, Tony, we did a dance hall piece, and mind you, I never did one step of dance hall in my entire life. So after the whole dance hall piece, you know, I tried my best, and what is his name? Tony. Yeah, Tony walked up to me afterwards, and you know how most auditions go? You give your resume with a headshot, and then you do the thing, and then they send you a yes or a no, like a couple days, maybe even a week later. You know how that goes, right?
Yes.
Tony walked up to me at the end of class and said, "Hey, Mike, welcome to the team." I was like, no pause, no nothing. He just said, "Hey, I really liked that what you did in the dance hall piece," and I'm like, "I've never done dance hall ever, and you liked it? What?" And I'm not trying to brag. Like, this is what literally happened. So he said, "Welcome to the team." He said, "First rehearsal's tomorrow." I was like, "Holy shit, that was easier than I thought." I was like, "Oh my goodness, I must have been doing something right." So at that point, I thought, screw the EM audition.
Oh.
Right? Because I already made it here. But I had a conversation with myself. The same night I came home, I was like, you know what? I'm already here. I might as well just go just to see. Because, you know, I'm probably not going to get accepted anyway, so I might as well just, you know, whatever. So I went to I went to a Street Hype rehearsal earlier in the day. And I had to leave early. Wait, no, was it the same day? Wait. Oh, yeah. It was the same day. And I had to leave early to make it to the audition. And I gave Tony a bullshit excuse because I had to go home to help my grandmother, or because I wasn't going to tell him I was going to another audition. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I bullshitted Tony, and I had to leave. And I went to the EM audition, and immediately, as soon as I walked through the doors, and I believe it was at Debbie's Dance Studio in Winchester.
Yes.
Yeah. Or, I don't forget what town it's in. I think it's Winchester, right? Starts with
Wilmington.
Wilmington. There it is. I thought I said Winchester. But, so as soon as I walked into the doors, I felt like this heartwarming, wholesome, welcoming energy that we all know
Yeah.
from everybody. Everyone, I walked up to everybody. Everybody gave me a hug, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is pretty tight."
Yeah.
And I had like the warm up and the classes were just as intense as it was at street hype.
Yeah.
That's because of what I remember. And we did the whole warm up, 3 pieces, everything, and it was really nice. It was a really nice vibe that I had never really experienced before, and it was God. I can still remember how I felt leaving. I was like, you know what? Even if I don't get accepted, I'm gonna find a way to still be around these people. I'm gonna be like a cockroach. Like, you're not gonna get rid of me, son.
Yeah. I
need to be around you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, come here. So 3 days passed with no word. It was complete silence at the house. I was kind of just doing my own thing, practicing, dancing, and got an email from Jeff, or it must have been Jackie, because I know Jackie does the emails in EM.
Okay.
Told me that I got accepted. So there I was, originally thinking that there was no way I'm going to get on either of these companies, because these are like big, because I was like, these are like big name groups, teams, crews in Boston. I was like, these guys are completely out of my league. There's no way. And then I was looking at text from Tony, and I was looking at the email, and I was like, this is a complete 180 of what I expected. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I ended up choosing EM. I chose EM because of the energy that was showcased during that audition. Due to the energy and just that feeling that I got. I instantly, when I walked in that room, I instantly felt like I belonged there and I was a part of something. And hey, by the way, I'm not knocking street hype.
Yeah.
Let me make that perfectly clear. When I was at the street hype audition, I talked with people. They were friendly, but it was kind of just like your average, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh, I like what you did there. You know, it was average. Wasn't anything special. In like 20 minutes of me being at the EM audition, I was talking to people like they were my freaking brothers and my sisters. Because everyone, I don't know, I don't know how do we do it? I don't know how we do it. It's so weird. It's so weird. We just have like some weird hippie energy that just, we instantly just love you and you love us, you know? So, and yeah, ever since then, everything that you've seen me do was immediately after that. I literally just showed up out of nowhere. There was no warning. Now y'all are stuck with me.
That's so crazy, though. I love origin stories and connecting.
Yeah,
dude, you came out of left field.
My story goes a lot deeper than that. So I'm gonna circle back to talking about my folks, because my parents, the one whom I've been talking about, my mother and my father, they are not actually my mother and father. Because didn't I tell you this? I don't know. Yeah. So I might as well tell the viewers watching. They were not my original parents. They are my aunt and my uncle. The reason why I call them mother and father, because they raised me as such. They raised me as if I was their son, which I will always be thankful for. So the reason why is I was not originally born in New Hampshire. I was born in Massachusetts. I was born in Belmont.
I don't know if I knew that one.
I was born in Belmont. I was born in Belmont, and I lived in Billerica for a couple of years through my infancy.
Okay.
And I was living with my biological parents, John and Maureen Blouin. So my original last name is Blouin. It's not Shea. It's Blouin.
Oh shit.
So fast forward a couple of years through my infancy, and my mother and father, they we good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mother and father, they died in a motorcycle accident.
Didn't know that. I'm not sure.
Yep. They died in a motorcycle accident. It wasn't because my father was drinking. It wasn't because of anything. I believe that they were going to a grand opening of something. I don't know if it was a restaurant or a barn or some kind of business. They were going to a grand opening of that. And they were traveling on this back road. And I believe it was at night. I think it was when they were coming back. I'm not sure. Because it was at night. I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was raining or not. But there was this really sharp turn that I guess my father didn't see or didn't anticipate. And he turned and he went off the road, flew over a guardrail. And my father died immediately, instantly through the crash. And then my mom died in the hospital, I would say about 5 days later, 3 to 5 days later. And mind you, I was like 2, maybe 3 years old. So okay. I had absolutely no awareness of what was going on. Okay. I had no idea. So picture this. Picture a child growing up, not knowing who he is or who he was, not knowing where he came from or how he got to where he was, because my first memory that I can remember is me waking up in Manchester in my bed and going downstairs and seeing my mom, who was my aunt, who's actually my aunt, who was making breakfast. The first thing I remember. Anything before that, complete darkness. I have no idea. Okay. So I have no idea. Well, of course I know what my parents look like because of pictures and everything, but if it wasn't for the pictures, I would have no idea what they look like. I have no idea what they sound like. I have no idea what they act like. I have no idea, I don't know anything. Mm-hmm. So, and I had an older brother. His name is John. So he was affected by this too, and mind you, he was 7. Okay. 7 years old. So he was completely conscious and aware. So he was majorly affected by it. And which led to a lot of bad things happening in his life. He's straight. He's completely straight now. But it led to a lot of traumatic things that happened in his life. Even though I was a baby and I don't remember it, I was still affected by it. And being a child and being a baby and being plucked out of what you thought was your home and just placed in this new environment where you don't know the faces, you don't recognize anybody besides your brother, who is like always crying and being super emotional and going crazy and all this stuff. I was so confused that I was very temperamental and I was very aggressive when I was a baby. Mm-hmm. It got to the point where I would bang my skull on, I would headbutt everything. I would headbutt the wall, the floor. I would headbutt people. Mm-hmm. I would just do anything just to stop myself from being frustrated, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And that has led to the reason why I can't smell. I literally have no sense of smell. None whatsoever. Because, if you put a bouquet of flowers in front of my face, it feels like air to me. Okay. If there's a gas fire, I don't smell the gasoline. If someone rips one in the middle of a room or in an elevator, I don't smell jack shit. All of it just feels the same. But, however, although I still have a perfectly sound sense of taste, it's completely fine. Yeah. My sense of taste is all there. I have my things that I like and don't like, which is very odd because usually those two senses are linked.
Yes.
It's very odd. And I remember going to a neurologist earlier this year to figure out my issue, and she was the one who told me it might have been due to head trauma. And that's when my parents took 2 and 2 together. It's like, oh, maybe it's because he was a fucking moron and banged his skull everywhere when he was a child. So yeah, so that's a little bit. So I acknowledge that it's my fault. Yeah. Yeah. Even though I was going through a load of shit, but it's yeah, I can't smell, and I probably never will. But that's why I need a partner. I have an excuse why I need to be in a relationship because I always need somebody around me that can smell the gas if the house is on fire.
Fuck.
so yeah. But after my parents died, all my relatives, they refused to let me and John become orphans. So it was going to be a long, hard discussion on which one of my relatives, which group of relatives were going to take us. Mm-hmm. It could have been anyone, right? Let me tell you, my aunt and uncle, Tom and Jane, who I consider my mother and father, now, they took me in, and they already had 3 children.
Damn.
They already had 3 children.
Okay.
And all of my other relatives, they didn't have any children. Mm-hmm. My Uncle Dennis and Kay, they don't have children. My Auntie Mary and Paul, they don't have children. You know, Patty, my Auntie Patty doesn't have children. Uncle Chris doesn't have children. Nobody has children except my Uncle Tom. Already had 3 children, and they collectively decided to take us both in. And they were living in a 1-story ranch in Manchester. It was a very flat, simple ranch. And what my dad is a carpenter. He built an entire 2nd floor on top of his house to accommodate my brother and I.
Yeah.
He built an entire 2nd floor, completely refurbished furniture, 3 rooms, a bathroom, a shower, a nice, good-looking staircase. My dad and my mom saved my brother and I from basically they saved us from my other relatives.
Yeah.
Because I understand their point of view. Giving 2 children to people that have never had children is a really, really dumb idea. So, even though they had 3 children, they understood that it was the best possible choice for us. Mm-hmm. And, and I grew up fairly normally. You know, I grew up, you know how some people say that they're a city boy and other people say that they're a country boy? I feel like I'm a mix of that because 1, I'm in New Hampshire and 2, I'm in Manchester. Mm-hmm. So like I lived in like a rural suburb. You know, I worked with my dad a lot. You know, I used to build stuff with my dad. I worked out in the garden with my mom, you know, pulling weeds and all that stuff. And you know, I did a lot of I hate to say it, quote unquote country stuff.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of that, and you know, I never really bonded with any of my siblings when I was growing up because of the age gap. Mm-hmm. Because my brother is 5 years older than me. My biological brother John is 5 years older than me. Mm-hmm. Then my other brother Mike, he's also the same age as John. Then Jimmy and Amanda, they're both in their 30s.
Oh, wow.
So there's a huge age gap. So it's like I never was able to bond with any of them because they were growing up experiencing things that I wouldn't experience for the next 5 to 7 years of my life. And I was still caught up in learning the basics. And so whenever I would try to be around them, they would always be like, go away. You know, you're annoying me, Mike. Go away. And I didn't understand at the time, but now that I look back on it, I was like, well, that sucks.
Rithie.
Huh?
Rithie says, question, how do you feel about motorcycle?
How do I feel about motorcycles?
He also commented on Facebook. He said, pretty interesting to listen to. Not sure why. Not sure when he popped in, but I think he switched over to Twitch. Assuming that's his username.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
So, wait, before he answers that, did you catch are you asking because of the accident? Let's give him like 10 seconds.
Phone's blowing up. I'm so popular.
Oh, yeah, I switched in, yes.
Okay, yeah. So my opinion or my feelings towards motorcycles at first was very, very, very timid.
Yeah.
very resentful, very, very timid, very nervous. Today I'm a little bit more relaxed. I'm a little bit more chill. I'm a lot more mature. So I understand a lot of things. Personally, I would never own one or ride one. Mm-hmm. But if I had to, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I don't, I remember years ago when somebody mentioned motorcycle, would you ever buy a motorcycle? I'd be like, no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
Because I would be so incredibly just nervous because immediately when I hear the word motorcycle, it brings me right back. Mm-hmm. It brings me right back to that time, and like I said, I'm more mature. I am more relaxed, and I don't know what in the future holds, but as of right now, I have absolutely no interest in it. Perfectly fine driving my car. I love my car. Anything less than 4 wheels, I get a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So
totally fair.
Yeah. And I don't knock anybody who drives a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. I don't see any, like, if I ever see someone on a motorcycle, I'm never like, oh no. I don't think that they're gonna die. Yeah. I'm not that damaged, let's say. But I just that's their thing. They're into motorcycles. That's cool. Like my dad, my father, my biological father, he was a huge biker.
Yeah.
He was a biker.
Okay.
Like he had a Harley. He had the leather jacket.
Yeah.
He was in a rock and roll band. He had like that 90s short at the top, down low here kind of haircut. He was in a rock band. He had the beard, and he was borderline hippie, but he was very biker.
Yeah.
He was very, very biker, which is it's funny. I love talking about my dad because my dad just seemed like such a cool dude. A lot of people who have talked to me about him told me that he was a prankster. He was very cocky. He was very quick-witted, and the funny part of it is, my brother John, my biological brother John, when he was younger, he was like the spitting image of my father. But they damn near they could have been fucking twins. They look so similar. And when I was younger, I looked like my mother. I had my mother's eyes. It was mainly in the eyes. And as the both of us have gotten older, it's basically switched where I look more like my father and my brother looks more like my mother.
Wow.
With every passing day. It's so weird. And mainly it's the fact that I can grow a beard, but my brother can't. And my brother hates it. And I love it. The funniest thing that I ever did to my brother was, I remember I think it was for like his 25th birthday. I think he was like 24 or 25. And my brother Jimmy, who's like the oldest sibling in the family, he's like 36 now. And 35, 36. And he had this idea where I should shave my beard off, keep the hair, put it in a little Ziploc baggie, and give it to John. And I was like, and on his birthday, we got him an actual gift. But this was like a little side gag gift saying, hey, look, John, we know you can't grow a beard. So I have been generous enough to give you mine. So
that's so funny.
He had such a sour taste in his mouth the rest of the day towards me. I felt like I ruined his birthday, but you know what? It was so worth it. It was so worth it.
That's funny.
My God. Yeah. I love my beard. It's so nice.
Dude, I can't even stand having a mustache. So I don't think. And then even when this starts coming in, I can't. I'm just like, nope. I'm gonna get rid of it. Like, this is the irritation, and then just feeling it, I'm just like, nope. I just can't do it.
I love it, man. I love when my beard gets so long, especially during the winter, man. Because like I go out, I don't even need a scarf. I don't even need a scarf because My beard grows on my neck. It doesn't grow on my cheeks. It grows down here.
Oh, that's cool.
So like whenever it gets all bushy and thick, all I gotta do is wear something like this, and my neck is completely warm and dry.
Wow.
I remember last year when, because don't you remember me when my beard was pretty long?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty long. It was like down here to a point, right? And I remember I shaved it all off one day, and I think it was during the winter or when it was really cold out. I remember walking out on my back porch the second after I finished shaving, and I felt the wind on my chin, and I felt like I was 10 years old again. This was like the weirdest feeling because the last time I didn't have facial hair was when I was 13.
Damn. That's a fucking long ass time.
Ever since then, I've had something. The first thing I grew. Oh my god. This brings back terrible flashbacks. The first thing I grew was a mustache. Okay? Imagine being a 16-year-old kid with a fucking terrible-looking mustache and him looking at himself in the mirror thinking, this looks nice. No, Mike, it doesn't look nice. You look fucking creepy. No wonder why you were single the entire time you were in high school. God, man. I don't even want to talk about high school. I'm so glad nobody here knew me when I was in high school. My goodness.
Oh, man.
Because for one, I was heavily influenced by Jimmy, my oldest brother, who is perpetually stuck in the year 2000, 2002, where all the hip-hop artists wore baggy clothes and fitted caps. And I was influenced by that, so guess what I wore to high school in 2011? Baggy clothes.
There was still some of those people left a little bit. I know.
Baggy clothes, fitted caps, snapback. Oh, I kind of feel really ashamed that I'm about to say this, but my confidence is unshakable, and I am not ashamed by anything that I have done. But I wore fedoras.
Damn.
I wore fedoras, and I thought it was cool. I wore fedoras, and I thought that I was the flyest in the school.
I feel like I had a little short phase of that somewhere in high school, honestly. No, I don't know.
Oh my god! I even did the thing where you had the fedora by the back and you flipped it on. Oh, it was so cringy. I never want to go back. I literally left the box of hats that I had I left it at my house. I left it at my folks' house because I never want to see it again.
Yeah.
That's like my old life. I feel like as soon as I moved down here, I completely changed. I had dropped everything that I was when I was up there. I am like, if you met me 5 years ago, I would have been 17. I would have been the ultra enlightened, know-it-all, arrogant, shy, timid Michael that everyone in high school knew me as. You've ever experienced like when you reach a level of intellectual maturity, and then you're on like this pedestal of, I'm so enlightened. I am smarter than everybody else, that I had the gumption to figure this out on my own where no one else could, and I am a fountain of knowledge.
Maybe not like that.
I'm sure a lot of people have had those moments. Maybe once in their life, for maybe about 5 minutes at least. I was like that 24/7. I was so arrogant, and I'm still arrogant. I know I'm still arrogant to this day. And arrogance is a flaw if you don't know how to use it. Because I use my arrogance to further my business. If I say I'm great, I act great, and people think I'm great, and people use me for my greatness. Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. I never thought of that. Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Arrogance.
That's dope.
Arrogance is one of the best tools I have.
That's so interesting. Damn.
I guess you can call it overconfidence, but if you're in my
I don't know what
shoes,
the fuck overconfident means anymore.
yeah. If you're in my shoes and you have absolutely no assets and you have no one really to help you, I'm not saying people haven't helped me, but for the majority of the time, it's me getting the clients, it's me being relentless and like basically hunting people to collaborate, to film something or to do anything. And when I present myself to that, I have to do so in such a way where they have to know that I will provide something great for them.
Yes.
Because if I... Hold on, let me take another sip. If I go to them all humble and genuine and be like, so I've been doing this for like not really even a year. I don't really have that much experience, but I would really love to, just have a chance to work with you and maybe just create a little... No, that doesn't work. In the business world, it does not work. I don't care who you are, that doesn't work. You have to present yourself in such a way... You gotta even lie sometimes.
Sorry. Rithia said, man, that's not too bad. Fake it till you make it. It's a pretty common saying. And then someone else says, what are we talking about?
We are talking about...
We could recap.
Okay.
Let's recap what you missed.
Where...
The beginning, we talked about girls.
So in the beginning we talked about girls and how I am currently seeing an exotic Colombian girl with an accent, and she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
She's fantastic. And okay, what did we talk about after that?
We talked about
my workflow, my current workflow. Then we talked about expressive movement, and we talked a little bit about my origin story, about how I came down here from Manchester, New Hampshire. I went through the whole audition process of joining EM and everything like that. When the stream is done, if you feel so inclined to watch it, if you're that interested, which I'm sure you are.
And then you talked about...
And then we went deeper into my origin story, talking about the tragic accident of my parents and how I was nearly orphaned and how I was raised and how that shaped me into the person I am today. We talked about how I don't have a sense of smell, but I have a perfectly good sense of taste. And then now that's transitioned into talking about how I present myself in a business format, because I don't know if you know this, because who asked?
And then they asked what you do for. Cash Dollar 2009.
Cash Dollar 2009. You know that person?
I don't.
Neither do I. Hi, my name is Michael Blouin Shea. I am a Boston-based videographer and cinematographer and photographer. I have been doing this for just about a year, and I've been doing it as a business for about a year. However, I have been studying film and practicing film technique for as long as I can remember, well over a decade, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about how I managed to get my start, how I managed to find my clients, how I managed to keep a consistent clientele, a consistent workflow, and it was basically...
Oh, Naleen's just showing you some love. You alright too, Naleen. I don't miss you. I don't even like you. No, I'm just kidding. I kind of like you.
Yeah?
A little bit.
Yeah. And what was I saying? And we basically talked about how I am relentless in my confidence. I said this before at the beginning of the stream, that my confidence is unshakable and my goals are inevitable, which means that nothing ever in this entire world, nothing physically, emotionally, nobody, no person, nothing is getting in the way of achieving what I have planned for myself and what I have planned to provide for myself and my family. Sorry. basically, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna let you know as a public service announcement. I already told him this and the previous viewers who are watching, but if you're still here and watching, that I am going to be the best filmmaker in Boston, in the Boston area, and maybe even the entire New England area in the next few years. I can personally guarantee that I will allow you to bet every single last one of your dollars, dimes, pennies, and nickels on me that I will be one of the best filmmakers in the area. Because I am a man of my word. Once I say that I'm doing something, it happens. It's borderline magic, I would say.
Magic Mike.
Yeah! Ah! Oh my God. You have no idea how many girls called me that in high school. It's because of the fact that I was white, my name is Mike, and I was a dancer.
Yeah.
I would walk to the lunch line in high school, and girls would be like, Magic Mike! Do something! Like I was a fucking monkey.
I hate that shit.
And let me tell you something, people that didn't even know my name knew me as the dancer kid. It was so hilarious. They knew my face. They knew what I was all about. And I would be walking down the halls, and I would hear some prick behind me and be like, "Hey, dancer kid, do something. Show me the pop and lock." I mean, like, oh my.
Jumping to different stuff. So Cash Dollar 2009 asked, "What do you do for work?" That was like 2 minutes ago. Eileen just said, "Before I go, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story and journey with us. Mike, appreciate you and the work you do." And then Rithi asked if you have a portfolio website. I just told him you're on Instagram. I didn't link because I don't remember the name. I'm assuming it's Mike B. Shea. What does your clientele typically look like for your videography? Small business or?
I am currently a small business because it is just me. It's just me working with the clients. It's me with the client during the creative process. It is just me during the production, during the filming phase of it. And it is just me coloring and editing and releasing the footage. So I guess, yes, I am a small business owner. I don't even know if I want to call it a business or a brand or, I'm still figuring out the logistics of that. Mm-hmm. But I do absolutely everything. Or I am open to doing, I haven't done everything, but I am open, willing, and able to do absolutely everything. Weddings, not birthday parties, parties, concerts, short films, short skits, feature films, music videos, dance videos, product photography, commercials, promotional videos. I've ran out of fingers, but yeah, I do quite a lot, or I can do quite a lot. What did I say?
Have you considered marketing those videos through TrueView or YouTube?
Basically, in terms of marketing and showcasing my content, I have decided, firstly, to turn my Instagram into an online portfolio for my photography and my videography. I don't have the resources, nor the assets, nor the creative mind to make a website, because eventually I would like to make a website, because any videographer or photographer who is anybody, they have a website.
Yeah.
That's like a rule of thumb. Everyone needs a website, something. But right now, I don't really have enough content to have a full working website. I have enough information, I have enough things to write, but in terms of visual stuff that I can actually show you, it's not a lot, or at least not enough that I'm personally proud of. A lot of the stuff that I have done as a start they've all been for free. They've all been very spur of the moment, spontaneous, not a lot of planning going into it. Even if there is planning, there is very little, maybe 1 or 2 conversations about it. And and I'm not knocking any of my previous clients, that it is what it is. We're all busy. We all don't really know how to explain everything. And mostly the stuff that I've done, it's very simple, either doing music videos. I remember the first music video that I did, I talked to the artist And he told me, I was like, all right, what do you want to do creatively? Like, I listened to the song. I love the song. I know what it's about. What do you want to do concept-wise for the video? Because usually usually the artist is in control of the creative process for most of the part. I am basically just the lens. I'm the camera that brings their stuff to life. And what this artist in particular did was he just said, I have this location that's a few miles from my house in the woods, and once we get there, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And on the one hand, it's great because I have complete and utter creative freedom. But on the other hand, it's sort of a hindrance because then it leaves all of the creative responsibility on me, which sometimes is a bad thing because sometimes I may be juggling other things. I might be trying to edit something which I'm creatively drained on, and then I don't really know what to do on this thing. And sometimes, like the first music video I did, I honestly think came out terribly. I didn't like it at all. And I do appreciate it in the fact that it opened up the door to make more clients, for more music video artists, or for more rap artists to come to me. And I've had a lot of people come to me, about half of which they were pretty sketchy. Mm-hmm. I've gotten messages on Facebook and on Instagram, be like, "Yo, you do videos for free, right? Yo, how much do you want for a video?" Like they send me jack shit of what they do for music.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to reach out to me, do it formally. Be like, "Hi, my name is. I go by the name of. Here's my music. I would like to make a video. How much do you charge?" You know, these are bullet point things that I need to see that makes me believe that you're legit and not sketchy and it makes me think that I'm not going to show up there and I'm going to get jumped and all my shit stolen. You know what I mean? Because believe it or not, that's happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did a shoot. Well, I almost did a shoot earlier this year. It was supposed to be a music video for this dude, and I drove up to New Hampshire. He lived in Hudson. He lived in Hudson, New Hampshire, right? And thankfully, I had someone to come with me, right? I had someone to come with me, and it was my friend Josh, who is like a filmmaker who lives down in Southie, I think, like Dorchester, who I don't really talk too much. I had him help me on like this one thing, and I didn't really like speak to him since because that fucking thing, that one incident was really scary. It wasn't really scary, it was just weird and stupid. I pulled up to his spot, and we didn't even go to the location that he talked about. We stayed in front of his house, and me and Josh, we looked at this guy talking, and I noticed his eyes. He kept looking in my car, and he kept looking at my trunk.
Yeah. And
he kept walking around close to my car, and as he was talking to me, he'd always be like, yeah, you know, we can go there and we can do that for like a couple hours, you know what I'm saying? You know, he was really being sketchy, and him and I decided to take off because, you know, it wasn't. I had a feeling, because I have enough street smarts to know that he was going to lead us to a spot where all of his homies were at, and he was going to jump the two of us and either take our car or take our gear, or, you know, it was something like that was going to happen, and I wasn't having it. I was the one who told Josh, I was like, Josh, let's go. I was stupid enough to actually drive up there because the messages in and of itself were sketchy. Like, he was very limited in his responses. He was like, how much do you charge for video? And I was like, I'm doing videos for free for now. And he was like, can I see something? And I was like, sure, follow my Instagram. Like, you can see everything. And he's like, cool. When can you be up here? Can you be up here like this week? I'm like, maybe. Like, you haven't even shown me your music yet, homeboy. Like, people like that just really grind my gears. Like, you're not helping me at all.
So this person had talked about, talking about marketing and stuff. He said, I'm talking about marketing for your clients. Charge a management fee, set targeting parameters, and run monthly campaigns for your clients. could help generate an additional channel of revenue for you on top of your videos, which I understand.
Yeah, I haven't.
Like, not yet.
Definitely not yet.
Yeah.
Right now, in terms of like the whole marketing thing, I'm not entirely focused on the business aspect of it yet. I'm not focused on the marketing and brand expansion and everything like that yet, because if my product isn't good enough,
The product needs to be on point.
if my product ain't good enough, then there is absolutely no point in building out my brand. No point whatsoever. I have to make sure that my product and my video lives up to my own expectations and lives up to the potential that I know I can do. As soon as I do that, we can discuss marketing. So right now, I'm only using my Instagram, and that's perfectly fine. I'm actually gaining a steady amount of followers on Instagram with every post that I make, which is pretty nice. Like, I remember a couple of months ago, I was at like 254 followers, and now like a month or 2 months later, I'm at like 315. So like with every post I make, I gain like 20 followers. Just like, which is a nice steady growth. You know, it's not incredibly insane like 500 followers in one night. I mean, that'd be great, but you know, you gotta start somewhere.
This person says, it sounds like you care more about reputation and quality than money. Oh, well, Rithi said that. I thought the same person said that. Yeah, of course.
I do care about my reputation.
I was like, that's really important, especially as someone who's gonna make your own stuff.
Yeah, the money, I would say the money is just as important, but not right now.
Yeah, that can come after.
Because my aunt is such a saint that she is helping me out financially and helping me keep my money in order and keep me from spending money on shit that I don't have on shit that I don't need.
Yeah.
And she is just I love her so much, and she's such an amazing person. Yeah, she's helping me keep my financial body afloat while I work on my craft. And as soon as I can land a client that can actually pay me, because I have had clients that say, I'd love to pay you, but I can't. And I'm like, whatever. Whatever, I don't care, because even though I've been studying and practicing film for a while, this is still the beginning of my business. And right now I'm only trying to get the exposure. I'm trying to gain the reputation. I'm trying to get my name into circulation of other filmmakers and videographers in the Boston area. I'm trying to get my name into the conversation. So when people talk about making a video, they mention my name. They say, oh, Mike, I know Mike. He does videos and his stuff is pretty dope. And, you know, he's coming up this year and he's been making really good stuff lately. You know, as soon as my name starts getting into circulation, then I'm on a pretty good track. And I've noticed that a lot of people have been talking about me, which is really nice. I love that attention. From a business aspect, I love that attention.
Yeah.
I'm not a narcissist. I'm not an attention whore. Probably not. But
I feel you on that, though.
yeah, so it's all about the product right now. For like the next couple of years, it's gonna be all about the product.
Same.
I'm 22. I'm 22 years old. I'm 22 years old. I have a long time to grind out my 20s so I can start enjoying myself in my 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that is the right way to go. If you bum your way through all of your 20s, partying, drinking, fooling around, you're going to be working your ass off in your 30s when you should have been doing that in your 20s. And then you're going to be in your 40s working hard and relaxing, living a nice, stable life that you should have been living in your 30s. You know what I mean? You got to do everything you can as early as you can. Knock it out. And this, yeah, I know, I'm a hypocrite. This is coming from me, who's the king of procrastination. But hey, at least I know I'm self-aware.
Yeah, that's good.
So, like,
Self-awareness is magic.
hey, when you spend a lot of time by yourself, you become very self-aware. You know exactly how you think. You know how you're going to react when you do something, before you even do it, or before I even do something, I know how I'm going to think. I know how I'm going to react on it after it happens. Even when I'm doing something that's wrong, I know I'm doing that it's wrong, and I know exactly how to stop doing it. It's not like I'm in a rut where I'm so depressed and I don't know how to get out of my depression. I know exactly how to fix all of my issues because I spend so much time by myself thinking and figuring this shit out. Not by choice either. I don't spend a lot of time alone by choice. I know I'm introverted. I'm very introverted, but I don't really want to be. I like being around people. I was basically conditioned to be an introvert due to the fact that I had no friends growing up. So I was just exposed to the environment of just being around, and I acclimated to it. I adapted to it, and I made it my own. And now, like, when I spend weeks on end not even leaving my room, which still happens.
Yeah.
Okay? It still happens. I sit in my house and smell. I don't care sometimes. Because I have no reason to go out. I have no reason to go outside, and I have no reason, and then it becomes comfortable. It becomes just like this.
Jamal.
Oh, Jamal, are you in the stream? Jamal.
He said goat talk. I was like, I don't think I know this person.
Yo, let me tell you about Jamal, okay? Let me tell you about Jamal Washington. Jamal is the first person whom I've ever met online through video games.
Oh shit, dope.
And still keeps in contact today. I believe it's been 7 years.
That's fucking awesome.
7 years. We met over online PS3, playing Battlefield 3. We just met in a public lobby, and ever since then, we have been we've been really good friends, and oh my god. And you know what? Ever since I've gotten a PC, we've been completely MIA, split from each other, because your poor ass won't get a high functioning computer and game with your boy. Hey, and don't give me any shit, because Wesley's got one too. So you can't tell me none of that. And Nathan?
It's not that expensive. I can help you.
Yeah, and Nathan? Fuck Nathan. Shit. Oh, man, I love you, Jamal, man. Fuck.
Oh, shit.
And Jamal is... Yeah, man. That dude's the GOAT. He lives in Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania, yeah. Pennsylvania. He actually recently joined the Air Force.
Oh.
So much respect to you, homeboy. Yeah, man.
That shit was promised.
Really?
I don't. Facebook is pretty unreliable. Trying to reconnect.
Trying to stay sane in this game, it ain't
Ricky is still
easy.
here.
What are they saying in the chat?
Just the last thing was I'm also 22.
Hey, whoever you are.
Birthday.
22 game. 22.
Yeah.
He said, I'm broke, dog. I just bought a new car. Nike, fuck Pogo. Yo, fuck Nathan. Oh man, Nathan is another dude that we play. We had this small little crew of 4 or 5 people from around the United States that we played games with. Mm-hmm. There was this one. There's this one dude. His name is Nathan. His username is Pogo Boy. Mm-hmm. And he's the most fucked up human being ever. And not in a serious way, in a borderline pitiful way.
Okay.
He's just so we made fun of him every single day. We were relentless. And I'm pretty sure that they still play with him on console. I'm pretty sure they're still relentless. Damn, man. Actually, Jamal and those people were the first people to make me insensitive to rude comments. Because growing up, I used to be kind of sensitive.
I see.
I used to not really take kindly to mean comments and stuff like that. I used to get kind of butthurt. Jamal used to get really butthurt. All of us used to get really butthurt, but we used to shit talk each other like every night. We used to call each other names and just call each other, faggots and all these derogatory names that aren't really so polite to say today, which is why we're probably gonna get banned off Facebook now that I said that word. Demonetized. No,
we should be okay.
No, but after that, they conditioned me to just not care at all what people say, which is why now I am like the hardest person in the world to upset.
Wow, that's pretty dope.
No, nothing. There ain't nothing anyone in the world can say that gets through me. Nothing. I've never met a single person that has ever gotten under my skin, ever. After I started playing with those guys.
I see.
Not a single, I had somebody rip me a new asshole one time.
Yeah.
And they were, I was literally just sitting there like, yeah, man, that's all right. He was screaming in my face, and I was just trying to converse. I was just trying to be like, so what'd you have for dinner? Man, it was like that. I'm that type of personality. Yeah. And that's even trickled into my love life too, which can come off as really insensitive and borderline robotic, which I recognize and understand. Let me tell you something, and Jamal, if you're still watching, this was the story that I was telling you about, or that I told you that I was going to tell you about. So listen up. So I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. I'm a huge gamer. I bought my PC mainly for gaming, secondary for video editing. Okay? That'll give you some perspective, all right? So I play video games every day. It's just, I'm home alone a lot, so it just distracts me. Takes my mind to a different place. Yeah. I just play video games all day. Huge nerd. That's all right. Whatever. And I've met with a whole bunch of cool people over Discord and different Discord servers for different games and stuff, and it's always been really cool until I met with a group of people, because there's this game that came out called Sea of Thieves, which was it's basically like a pirate adventure game. Okay. Right. It was a pretty dope game. Mm-hmm. Still is. And I met these people, and one of them his online name is Biskers. I just call him Biz a lot. He's a really cool dude. He's 17, super smart. At the same time, very stupid. And then I met another one. Wait, what did I say? There was a time where I wanted to travel the world taking pictures and making videos, but that dream died when I chose money instead. I think I am pretty happy with my life, but listening to you made me think maybe I could be happier because, I don't know if true happiness can be bought with money. Hey.
Oh, you just sparked something serious.
Let me tell you something, all right? Money doesn't buy happiness. It buys crazy-ass happiness. That is the best way I can put it. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you're passionate about. I can guarantee there is some way that you can make money out of it. And if you care about it that much, you'll figure it out. If you want to make a living out of it, if you want to go full-time with it, there is a way. And speaking of you're into the same thing that I am with photo and video. There are so many ways.
Ridiculous.
There are so many ways that you can do it full time. I know somebody. Her name is Annette. And let me tell you about Annette. Annette, she films close to about 80 weddings a year.
Fucking a lot.
So let me put that in perspective. That's like 1 to 2, maybe 3 weddings a week. And she charges about $1,200 to $1,400 for the wedding. And I did the math. You want to know what her annual salary is? Nearly $112,000 a year from doing just weddings all week, every week for the whole year. And I'm not saying that's an avenue for you.
Yeah.
That is the way she does it, and she makes a pretty damn good living out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, and believe me, I understand with the place that you're in right now. You've established something, and you've established a steady income, and you're in this place where you can say that you're comfortable and steady and moving along just fine. However, I understand how it can be hard to go from a standard, steady, always reliable income from whatever job that you're working at from going completely freelance. Freelance has its benefits, has a lot of benefits, although the income is not always guaranteed like a regular steady job is. That is the one downside of doing anything freelance. And I'm not saying that you have to go into something freelance. You can do something as much as be a camera operator at a TV studio if you still want stable income. You can be a camera operator at a local TV station. You can be a camera operator or a sound guy, a tech, a gaffer, a lighting guy on any sort of TV set. You can be a PA intern on any TV shows or movies that are being filmed in the Boston. I don't know if you live in the Boston area or whatever area that you're in. There are so many ways. Trust me, all of the information, it's never behind a paywall. And if it is, it's not that much money. All the information is out there. You can just do your research. You gotta know where to look, how to look, when to look, and what to look for. And I've learned this, one, by being on my own for so long and just sort of really having no other choice. And like I said, like I've told you before, I excel at learning through observation. So like when I watch somebody doing something, I take all of these mental notes and I'm like, wow, this is how he does this. This is how he works for himself. This is how his workflow is. Oh, so he does this with the camera. He poses these people this way. Oh, that's really cool, And then I apply that to my own workflow, and I apply that to my own business. And yeah, what did he say?
I actually make more than that, but realistically, that's a bigger risk. Out of maybe 100,000 people, there's one person that made it like her.
That type of mindset ain't gonna get you anywhere.
That's the mindset that I hear. Like, there's this definitely. I applaud you for taking that path that I was too scared to take, and I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
He's really cool.
But listen to me. Having the mindset of the realistic statistical mindset of 1 in 100,000 people make this a living, that may be true. But guess where your mind is at as soon as you realize, or as soon as you think of it that way, as soon as you plant that seed in your mind, is that you think to yourself, you have a conversation with yourself, and that says, oh man, that's a lot of people that just end up working a regular job and not doing. They just, wow, that's only one person out of all those people ends up doing what they want. That's crazy, man. That makes my chances like. What makes me so special? Like, what makes me? How do I know I'm going to be that 1 in 100,000? Having that mindset, you're going to be in the back of the room. You're going to be all the way back here, while everyone else who has a different mindset is going to be all the way in front, or in our case, behind the camera, having all the fun. Okay? I mentioned earlier that I am going to be the best filmmaker in Boston within the next few years.
No statistics there.
There's no statistics there.
Uh-uh.
That is a 100% straight up and down guarantee, because I believe in my own product. I believe in myself that much that I have no other choice. I plant this seed in my head that I have no other choice. Is that true? No. Of course I have other choices. Of course I could just, go to a Best Buy or go to apply for a dead-end job and I can make minimum wage and get myself an apartment and be just fine. Do I want that? No. Is that an option? Yes. Am I going to do it? No. Because, like I said before, money doesn't buy happiness. It buys temporary or crazy-ass happiness. So, it's just not worth it. What makes me happy is what I do. And I know some people that, for instance, a lot of people who are in relationships, like their partner is like their main focus in their life, and that's what makes them happy. So they're okay with having a regular job as long as they can have that person and start a family. Because for a lot of people, that's the goal. A lot of people, for their goal is to find a wonderful, beautiful partner, have a family, own a home, grow old. And that's a completely fine and noble goal to have. Me, I want to have that too, but that's secondary.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a very independent person. Not like when it comes to like my goals, intimately, romantically, I need to have a woman. I just do. If any women are out there listening, I'm nothing without you. I'm not. Everything that I do or have done has been for women or for a woman. Yeah. Because eventually, no matter what I do with my career, it's going to be in the service that I can provide for my family and for the woman that I love. That is the side objective. However, I don't want to do that in a way that doesn't make me happy. I'm being selfish because I want to do this because I enjoy telling stories, because that's what film, specifically film, is all about. It's about telling stories. And it's kind of cool when I'm going to stop saying when I become a photographer, filmmaker, cinematographer, I'll be able to call myself technically a storyteller, which is kind of a cool title, if I'm not going to lie. And that's just me. I enjoy, if you can tell by the way I am vocally, I enjoy talking, I enjoy telling stories, I enjoy orally speaking. I've been told by quite a few people that I am very well spoken, and when I'm comfortable, at least. If I'm nervous, I'm like, I'm very fucked up. But I get such a good feeling, as do a lot of people when they read or watch or tell a good story. Whether a story is true or it isn't true, as time extends, it matters less and less. The ones we want to believe, the stories that we want to believe, those are the ones that survive despite upheaval and transition and progress. Those are the stories that shape history. And what does it matter if it was true when it was born? It's found truth in its maturity. And that's what I find so cool about it, which is why that goes into everything. Regardless if a story is true or if it's not true, if it affects you and it moves you in a certain way, which it always does, that is the real purpose of it. The purpose of a story is not to distinguish whether it is true or not. The purpose of a good story is to leave a lasting impression on you that shapes you into the person that you'll eventually become. And I've realized this through all of my years of studying film. Every film that you watch, excluding a few exceptions, are made specifically with a moral compass, and it's made to leave a lasting impression on you. And I'm pretty sure you have like a list of movies, books. Shit. It's alright, I'll wait. Okay. And I'm sure you have a list of books, stories, or movies, films, whatever, that have impacted you personally, that you've taken something out of and that you've put forward into your own life.
Yep.
Yes or no?
Of course.
Yeah, right? Everyone has. Mm-hmm. Everyone has their favorite movie. Everyone has their favorite TV show. Everyone has their favorite book. Right? One of my favorite movies right now is The Revenant. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Gets attacked by a bear. You know? Mm-hmm. It is one of my favorite movies that has come out within the last 20 years. Because of a few reasons. One, the cinematography is phenomenal. Chivo, Emmanuel Lubezki, is like one of the best cinematographers that I look up to the most. He is absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. He films in such a way that is so different. Well, the way that he films now, the way that he filmed like 20, 30 years ago was pretty standard. It was very textbook. Not saying that it wasn't great, but it was easy to blend with other cinematographers. You know, mm-hmm. You can tell definitely that's Chivo just by looking, because he uses a lot of wide lenses, and the purpose of wide lenses that he uses for is that with a wide lens you can get real super close to the subject while still keeping the entire environment around him perfectly encapsulated into the frame. Mm. So like in The Revenant, one example, there was a close-up of Leo's character's face, of Leonardo DiCaprio's face. It was like this close to his face. And behind him you can see an entire mountain range and an avalanche going on in the background.
Oh shit.
That's insane. Your focus was on him, but it gave a sense of where he was. It let the audience know that he was in this world. There is an actual language when it comes to camera movement. Mm-hmm. There is a psychology in camera movement. A lot of people knock movies that are remade from books because they are not as good as the books.
Yeah.
Most of the time because they don't put in as much detail as the books did. But let me tell you something that nobody really understands other than the filmmakers. Okay? With camera movement, blocking, staging, props, set design, and all of that, that in and of itself can explain an entire page of a book just by being there. Mm-hmm. Because usually when you read a book, it describes
everything.
It describes the place that you're in. It describes the person, what they look like, what they're wearing. It describes where they move. It describes what they say, and it describes whom they say it to. And it freaking, people don't understand that you can portray that same thing with just a few camera movements. You can translate that same thing through camera movement.
It's back.
Where was I? I completely went off course talking about film. Where was I was talking about what happened online over a girl. That's right. So let me backtrack to that.
Oh god, that's so funny.
I do this all the time whenever I'm talking to somebody. I ramble on and I talk about stuff that doesn't even relate to the thing that I'm talking about. And I'll go on for like 20 minutes. I'm not even doing it now. I'm going to get back on subject. So, yeah, I met this group of people on a game, one of which was a girl, right? She went by Whist, because I don't know, she never told us her real name for some reason. She told us her name was Whist. And she lives in Vermont. And I was never the type of person to try to pick up girls online. That's just weird, especially if they don't live in your town or don't live in your state.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? You know, I understand some kids have digital relationships, but still, like, that's not fun.
Yeah.
I've tried that before. It doesn't work. So, I never thought anything of it. You know? Her and I and all of us, we were all completely, like, buddies. We were all cool for months. Everything was fine for months. Until this one evening where, I don't know, she started commenting on some of my Instagram posts, because I remember she followed me on Instagram, as well as a few other of them followed me on Instagram, you know, just because, whatever. And some of the pictures that I posted, she would start liking my pictures and leaving comments on my pictures that were suggestive, I'll say suggestive, and I didn't think anything of it. I read it and I was just like, cool. Went back to playing video games. You know, I didn't think anything of it. So I remember one night we were all playing and it was all fine. I was telling him what?
Well, I think it's just, I thought Rithi was here the whole time, or maybe he still is. I don't know. I'm not sure. Someone named Serenity Sov says hi. That's good.
Hi, Serenity.
He's been storytelling, and I'm just like, just listening. That's my thing. I mean, I talk too, but I'm just listening today.
So, before I was interrupted,
how's it going? Well,
just kidding.
it's about to be a conversation.
I'm doing fine, Serenity. Thank you very much.
Friggin' fantastic. I'm so happy with my life. You guys don't even understand.
Same. If I could go on.
Yep. How are you?
One night we were all playing. And I was talking.
No, it's okay. This is a relationship, you know. It's back and forth. Like,
And I was
so he can jump in and out. You have.
I started talking about this girl that I was talking to, dating, something. I met her. I wasn't even dating her. I was just talking to her on Tinder. Like that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
Right. And I met her once at her work, and it was like, it was boring. It was dumb. I didn't like her.
Yeah.
And she DM'd me on Instagram while we were playing, which was odd. I was like, why couldn't you just talk to me?
Yeah.
Probably because there were other people in the room. And she talked to me and she basically confessed her feelings towards me that apparently she was harboring for months. I was like, oh? And she told me that she was she was a nymphomaniac, basically. You know what that is?
Nope.
Sex addict.
So, have we talked about this girl?
Nope.
This is someone different.
Another girl.
Okay.
My ex-girlfriend was a nymphomaniac.
All right.
Cheated on me, left me. You know that story.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. This was another one. I met another one. Can you believe it? I attract these type of girls for some reason, which is odd because my sex drive is kind of low.
Yeah.
Which is like, why? Why? But anyways, I digress. So she talked to me. I'll wait.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it because is my phone hot?
Maybe that could be it.
Do you have the same phone case as me?
Probably not. It's not.
It kind of looks like you do. Wait, look at this. I think we have the same phone case. Is it like white around the back?
Nah.
No.
Mine is cheap.
So is this. Anyways, yeah. She told me that she was interested in sending me naughty pictures.
Naughty pictures.
Naughty pictures, right? Because she was like very apparently sexually aroused by me.
Said, I'm sorry you got cheated on.
Oh.
I've been there. Almost all the dudes I've dated have cheated on me.
Well, Serenity, that is very unfortunate, and I'm really sorry to hear that.
Who do you sound like right now? You sound like this anime dude. Not an anime character. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to that in a second. But you sound like this YouTube reviewer, actually.
I know. I've been told that I have like a radio voice.
I think the glass.
I've been told that I have like a very YouTuber radio voice, like, good evening and welcome to the 6 o'clock news. I'm your anchor, Oswald that Enswald.
I don't know.
You think I sound like that guy?
There was something there that you sounded like him, but sorry. No, but that's relationships. We could talk about. I'm just genuinely interested.
I love people that are genuinely interested, Patana.
Me too. That's why I'm fucking here.
That's why we're both here.
That's why I do these things.
Don't interrupt me. I'm kidding. So back to what I was saying. She was interested in sending me naughty pictures, and me being a young male who is basically always horny.
Yeah.
I was just like, I ain't gonna say no to that. I was like, all right, fine. And so we kind of went back and forth. We were flirting a little bit because she sent me a few pictures of herself. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, she's fine. Okay. So I was like, all right. And I was like, you know what? That's cool. So from my understanding, I thought that it was just a thing, right? It was just a thing that her and I were doing because her and I found each other physically attractive, and I thought it was just something fun that we were doing, right?
Yeah.
As any other reasonable, rational young man would think. As it turns out, a couple weeks go down the line, I would get busy, and I don't talk to her or whatever. Because I still treated her like a friend, other than the flirting and stuff. It was really confusing. It was really, really confusing on both of our parts because both of us were doing stuff that we shouldn't have done in the first place. And as it turns out, she, look at me she fell in love with me. Baton, she fell in love with me.
Yikes. And
I was like, excuse me?
Bro.
I was like, excuse me? Why did you have to say that? Because now I have to break your heart. This is not a good day for me or for you.
Yeah.
Because oh my god! And can I tell you that she actually had a boyfriend too?
That's so bad.
Right.
Holy fuck.
Right.
Broken much?
Right. And apparently,
I just said in 3 weeks? Question mark.
Yes, in 3 weeks. No, okay. Well, let me clarify. Let me clarify. Apparently, she had harbored these feelings over a 6-month period of us playing together, of us hanging out and everything like that. And then the whole thing with the naughty pictures and everything started 3 weeks before that huge emotional calamity happened. The 3 weeks went by, and then she started getting very, very emotional. Separation anxiety, all of these emotional tendencies that girls who are in love tend to have. And I told her nicely that I didn't return feelings. And she completely went off on me. She ripped me a new asshole. She told me that I was the scum of the earth, that I was the worst man that she had ever met in her entire life, that I was, she's gonna be totally heartbroken. How do you sleep at night knowing that you can just play with people's heads and fuck with women? And she told me all of this, all of it. She called me on Discord and she was screaming at me and doing all this stuff. And me being the person that I am, I react mostly like the way that I'm reacting right now. Yeah. Very calm, casual, and cavalier.
Drives people's nuts.
Yeah.
It drives them crazy when they're going, and you're kind of just
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like I do it on purpose. That's just how I am. And it really pushed her button something fierce. And we haven't talked since. And yeah, that was the extent of an online relationship going bad. Yeah, so
God.
Serena, that's what happened. And if you would like, I'll even go into detail about my last relationship because I know how you commented on that. I am perfectly fine with talking about it right now because
Real talks.
again, I have complete no issue talking about anything because like I said before, I am impossible to bother or
I get that. Darrell, surgeon one. No.
yes.
I'm actually not. I'm Cambodian, but I do get Indian. Sometimes I get like Puerto Rican or something,
I'm
Filipino.
gonna read the chat. Man, I must be crazy. It takes me a while to fall in love.
I don't think you're
Yeah,
crazy.
me fucking too.
I
Me
don't think
too.
you're crazy for that.
No, you're not crazy. I'm the same way.
I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah, it is
Because
different
if
for
she
everybody.
falls in love, then she falls in love, right? And that just comes with experience.
Here's a question I have for you.
Oh.
Okay, because if I'll give you a hypothetical scenario. All right, like
Rough.
I'm trying to put my words together. Like this I'll give you an example out of my last relationship.
Okay.
When it was like 3 or 4 months into the relationship. It was after we had sex, and she was looking in my eyes. She started crying, and she told me very emotionally that she was in love with me. And it was really early. It was quite early in the relationship. I believe it was still under 6 months, right? And it takes me a while to fall in love with that. So I didn't feel the same way. So I was honest. I said the words that are very, very rough. I said, thank you. I said, thank you. But, she took it well. She took it very well when I said that I said it in a way, I said, I'm not there yet. So I am growing more passionate about you every day, and I'm just not there yet. I don't fall in love that easy, and yeah. So bringing my question to you, how would you react if your partner told you that they were in love with you and you didn't return the feeling?
Right. React like to them.
Yeah. If they say I'm falling in love with you, or I fell in love with you, like if they said that.
That's like my okay. So it's people don't come out here confessing their love and shit to me, but people tell me some heavy stuff a lot because of how I brand myself, right? Just like this real talks thing that I do online.
Yeah.
I live this shit in real life,
Right.
And so I hear a lot of extreme bad and good. Some things are personal to me. And
Pause. Let me say. I saw it in the Facebook chat. I'm saying hi to Wesley. What up, Wesley?
Oh, what's good? Is that your homie?
That's my other homie, that I play games
good,
with.
Wesley.
What's up, Wesley? Lil Wes.
Um,
So go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
So for me, I'm at if I'm truly at a loss,
Yeah.
then my default is a smile because it's real. Because it comes from a place of wow, look at this human moment. So I'm really weird because
You're
I'm
just like that.
super
You're like that
self-aware.
default smile. Wow.
Yeah, because I'm fascinated. A lot of things I'm fascinated by, which is why I smile a lot. Because I'm just damn, that's so cool. That's my first initial thought, and then I get into again, this is not me saying anything yet because I'm still and then all the thoughts just fly, right? And so before cool, it's usually no, it'll be cool, and then the other thing is fuck, I can't, I feel bad that it's not that way for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's ever gonna go that way for me because I'm just really honest with that stuff. But yeah, my default is damn, I love you. I can't say I'm in love with you too, or I'm fuck, that's so cool and beautiful. A lot of positive shit starts coming out of my mouth.
You just try to overwhelm that person
And
with
I just stack
positivity.
it because the thing is, I don't see it as a personal thing, even though what they feel for me is personal.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as wow, it's so beautiful that whatever it is that we've been able to build, you fell in love with me. All of these things that you feel towards me, it's holy shit, we were able to create something that can bring all this into your life, and I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And So I appreciate all the different elements from a non-personal standpoint. So that's why I get all excited about it. And then I jump into the personal thing where it's like, fuck, all I can do is love you my best. Like, and it is what it is. And if it ever happens, like, I'll let you know. And I would be super honest about it. So I think
Yeah, same.
it would just kind of flow out naturally, depending on what it is. But all of what I just said is probably something I would say to them.
Yeah.
And I would even share that perspective of like all those beautiful things 'cause I really want them to understand. And not, because a part of me is like, okay, this personal thing, like, I don't take a lot of things personal.
Mm-hmm.
When people cuss and go crazy, like in how you're desensitized to a lot of shit, I don't take a lot of things personal because I just feel like a lot of things aren't.
Yeah. Especially out of anger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jealousy, all those other reactive emotions.
I would be happy, actually. I would just be really happy and then just show them love and then just be honest. That's like the best thing I can do. I wouldn't be like, sorry, like I don't love you to her, like, or give any sense of like potential hope. I would just be honest from where I'm at right there and then.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
So let me go back to the chat real quick. My boy Lil West saying, "This man's just called me Lil Boy."
Oh, this chat.
Boy, you know that's what we call you. Don't play.
Yeah.
Don't you play. And going back to Twitch chat, Awali Serenity says, "Man, I was with a guy for a year before actually loving someone like that. Strong like though, LOL. I've had guys fall in love with me in the past, and I just had to nicely tell them that I like them, but not love. Not love. They usually end up breaking up with me after that, which in my opinion makes no sense if they actually love me. But in my situation, it may be different because I don't just sleep with me. It takes me a while to do that. Maybe some of those dudes were lying to get me to do that. I don't know. Guys are so convenient. You know what? I agree. We are.
It goes both ways.
As much as we collectively like to say to ourselves that we're a lot simpler than women, we're not.
I think everyone just has an agenda that they don't want to be honest about. That's it. I think the best thing is like people are afraid to be transparent and honest because they don't want to lose temporary stuff or even long-term stuff. So if you're like, damn, I don't want to ask this question because I like where we're at. So we're also streaming on Facebook, but it keeps disconnecting. So hopefully it gets back in.
Are we just on Twitch or on Facebook?
No, both. That's Facebook. This is Twitch. This is the chat for Facebook. But if you're gonna talk to them, they're right there, and then Twitch is over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Confused. I think everyone's confusing because no one wants to be honest because everyone's afraid to lose something.
Yes.
So like I know. And I've been friends with these kind of girls, and I was like, damn, this is fucking real. Like, right. They're like, oh yeah, sometimes when I feel, whether that's like they need attention or whatever, they'll intentionally flirt with a guy and have zero intention of doing anything, even though they know, and they're like, and I know he likes me, and like, da-da-da-da. But like, sometimes I just need that, like that confirmation or affirmation just to feel good, and I'm like, you fucked up person.
Yeah, we're all fucked up people. Don't peg it on a gender.
And so then they're not being honest. And I'm like, because if they were, then the guy would just bounce and then they would lose the attention that they crave when they feel like they need it. Mm-hmm. So everyone is just like, well, if I, like, okay, say you were like, if you gave the guy hope, then he might have stuck around instead of being honest and being like, oh, I just kind of like you like that, whatever. And I don't, there's so much I could say with this topic of love and stuff because my thought processes on love is like meh, but dude, it's not hard to be honest. Sorry for a guy. You'd be surprised how not honest people are.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to anything intimate. Because usually when it comes to when you're in an intimate space with somebody and you allow somebody to come into that special space that you have, even if you're completely comfortable with them being in this space with you, 9 out of 10 people will still not tell them absolutely everything.
Because they're afraid to lose something.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
I'll tell you a bad one in a second. So it said, are y'all two friends or something? That's even more real. Yeah. Wait. Like us two? Yes. anyone I bring on here
Now we're family,
are
man.
usually
We're
homies,
family.
and everyone that I bring on here, like, yo, the conversations that go down in here are like some of the most. Oh my god, you guys don't even know when I put real talks, like I push for real shit.
Oh yeah, boy.
Trust. So the energy that we bring is always maybe not at this level, but the substance of the conversations are always in that place.
Yeah.
So anytime you see me stream this and you see who's on here, it's always like that. Sometimes people use this as a some people come in here never like doing like a public thing and being like, okay, like I want to talk to you and like I want to try. Like they'll use this like to break their nerves. And someone did that last week. So I commended them for that and they shared a lot. But what is it? I've told them I like them and maybe see love in the future, but they leave. That's dope that you're honest, because then if you fucked around and you weren't honest, you'd be wasting more time.
I'll tell you, like, usually my game plan for talking to girls, it's usually like I start out being somewhat cocky, confident, borderline douchey, because we all know that's what girls like. Girls like to be.
I watched a video on that. Oh my god.
Yeah, girls like to be teased. Girls like to be, So does everybody. Everyone likes to have a good time. And if you go up to somebody like playing the nice guy, like, yeah, it's cool and genuine, but it's like it's hard to build that spark, that attraction that you get without being confident. You know what I mean? If you're going to somebody with the intention of having someone in an intimate session, you can't. It doesn't really start by going, "Hi, my name is Michael."
Unless that's Justin.
Unless you.
See, it depends on the style and delivery.
See, what I do is that I start with confidence. I go, what's up, baby girl? I love, my name is Michael, and I think you and I would be the best couple in the entire world. I go in there thinking that I am the best person to have ever walked this earth. And I carry myself that way, and I make them know that that's what I think about myself. And 50% of the time it works, 50% of the time it doesn't, but I am not willing to change my ways due to the fact that it's a 50-50. That's how I like to do it. And then, after I reel them in, that's when I put on the nice guy stuff. That's when I start being...
Yo, I used to have strategies and shit until I started giving advice and realizing that the best strategy is no strategy.
Yes.
And here's what I mean.
See, you know what? That's exactly what I was talking about with the Colombian girl. Because I didn't do any of that shit.
Exactly. And those are the best ones.
I didn't do anything that I had planned. And it worked. How does that work?
I'll get to you in a second about the not simple, or obviously, but
Oh my god.
it's because it's true. And the ones that are worth it, is like when you can just go into like not having to waste time and energy to like plan or whatever that's not you. What I learned about that is that there's so many things, and I don't want to go into all of that, like, because my brain is just going in different directions. But I used to be strategic about that stuff, and then at one point I just like, or for the longest time, so I've been single for almost 6 years by choice. I always say by choice, because casually dating and like relationships and hooking up, I could pull off, and like it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not into that, or I wasn't. Today's a different story. But I would act a certain way, okay, and then I would see if this female can check off the boxes. If she checks off the boxes, then I unleash a different part of my personality.
Yes.
That I feel like she's worthy of. Now, me today, when I talk about worthy of, that I completely don't agree with that anymore, because I genuinely believe we're all worthy of whatever we want, and everyone's deserving of everything. So that's totally different. But when I did that and I started to really break down and dissect why I did that, I was like, okay, why do I do this? And I have a ton of reasons which I can get into. But basically I learned that, I'm kind of suppressing or holding back my whole personality instead of showcasing all of it right away, and that can be in some ways misleading to them, right? Because they're like, oh, they're used to this and they like that, but when I start, I'm like, okay, they deserve and they've earned and unlocked this feature. I was like, here you go, but like that's not the person they signed up for, and not that I've technically run into that issue, but it's just like I see, and I'm like, oh, I'm holding back my flirting and my this and my that because if she's not into like, you know, deeper conversations and substance and like passions and stuff like that, then I'm not even gonna bother putting in a chunk of my personality that needs to be unlocked, right?
Are you into somebody right now?
Me?
You got somebody? Yeah.
Am I into somebody?
Yeah. Because remember I asked you like a long time ago if you were into somebody, and like you had somebody that you would wife, but like it wasn't.
That I would wife.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. It was
Oh! I can drop all these names. And this will go on the record. Oh wait, is the baton obviously not. I thought so too though. Well, I mean, like, if you end up at least you end up dating these people, but the only thing that happens is they fall in love. But see, at least you end up dating them. You know what I mean? Like, versus like, I just want a guy to play games with or whatever. And if you can't get that ever, that's like, oh, that sucks. But you do, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I've been casually dating for like 6 months. However, with the intention that I want a relationship out of it.
I've never fucking had that. No, just kidding. That's not true. When I was in high school and pre-college, yeah.
Because I am by nature a monogamous person. And for those of you...
I will test that theory.
What? What do you mean you'll test that?
You know why? Because the ultimate theory is that we can change our DNA to become whoever we want.
Okay. That's a good argument.
Keyword want.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't want to, but I believe that we have the capability, because it's been proven, that we can become whoever we want to become. So if he was like, I want to be polyamorous because blah blah blah, you go into neuroscience and you undo the monogamy and you layer the polygamy.
Yeah.
Done.
But yeah, so I... Okay, fine. Just completely just blow my world up. Fine. All right. But so yeah, I am a generally monogamous person. I've always been. And for those of you that think that monogamy is not natural, you're a lying sack of shit.
This is so interesting. We were talking about this the other day.
You are a lying sack of shit.
Me and Justin.
Wolves are monogamous. Penguins are monogamous.
I'm gonna pee.
Elephants
I'll be right back.
are monogamous.
Keep talking about
okay.
monogamy.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if elephants are monogamous or not. I have to do my research. But there are a ton of animals out in the wild that are completely monogamous. And for me, I've always when I'm dating women, I've always had the intention that once I'm committed to you, that's it. That is it. If nothing happens. If nothing bad happens between us, it's you until the end of time. That's it. As soon as I give you my word that this is it, it's done. I am yours until I'm 6 feet under, which is kind of intimidating when you're just telling somebody this. And I understand whenever I tell somebody this, people usually oh wow, that's intense, but it's true. I've never cheated on anyone in my entire life, and if I've ever, this was back when I was young and immature and stupid. There was a point where I was dating somebody and I kind of started feeling this other girl on the side, but I didn't legitimately cheat. I broke up with my girlfriend first, and then I pursued the other woman. So it's still dumb, but it doesn't really technically mean I was cheating because I left her first. I'm not justifying it either, because I had a really nice woman and I left her for this stupid hoe. It was really dumb, but I was 16, 15, 16, so it was, it was a long time ago, and yeah. But this is how but yeah, that's how I genuinely feel towards. So I was just telling, I was just telling them about how like in terms of monogamy, how like
To leave then cheat.
once, this is I'll explain like what she meant by that. Once I am committed to you, like once I say like this, I am like this is it. It's all you until the end of fucking time.
Yep. Understand.
Unless if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if I decide on you, that's it. I ain't got no other woman on my mind. It's all about you. I am building my life up for you, building our life up for us, rather, and that's it. Like once we signed that imaginary contract that says we're in a relationship now, that's it. And
Facts.
I have never, ever, ever thought about or have ever cheated on anyone in my entire life. Although when I was younger, immature, and stupid, I was dating a girl when I was like 15, 16 years old. And I saw this girl that I was feeling a little bit on the side. And even then, I had a peace of mind to leave her first and then go after her.
I see.
So technically that doesn't constitute as cheating. But it was still, I'm not justifying it. It was still a stupid move by me because I had a really nice girl and I left her for this fucking side piece that wasn't really like, that ended up just kind of fucking playing me anyways.
Okay.
So it was a really dumb decision, and yeah. But I didn't openly go behind her back and say everything's fine, you know. I told her straight up, hey, I don't really like you anymore. Sorry. I didn't say it exactly like that, but yeah. That's how it basically was. My ex-girlfriend, my recent ex-girlfriend, the one who cheated on me, the one that I told you about, she offered me an open relationship. She offered me a polygamous relationship. To me. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious?
That's fucking crazy. That's dope though. I respect that a lot.
And part of me understood why, because she was a nymphomaniac, a sex addict.
Yeah.
Her sex drive was completely out of frame. You can't even see where the bar is. And mine was like right here. Moderately below average.
Below the nipple.
Yeah. My sex drive is like moderately below average. Like I don't really have sex as much as Justin would, or as much as Jamie would, or as much as any other. And I wouldn't have sex as much as the next guy would.
Well, they're missing this right now. I was gonna hit them up.
What, to come here?
I'm gonna tag them. No, because they need to be in this conversation right now. So Justin and Jamie and whoever else, Henrique and stuff, y'all need to jump on the stream. Kevin, if you ain't here, you better hop on the stream. This shit getting hot. I'm about to go he been going off, and I'm like getting there.
You don't even know. You don't even know. It's not. Ooh, you don't even know.
Yeah, you just said that you. It says open relationships are dumb to me. I can go against like every argument.
I don't believe they are. I don't believe they are dumb. Coming from me, a highly monogamous person, I don't think they're dumb. I think they're perfectly fine.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, no. You. It says you got to get partners so I can sub donate bits. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get. I have to get to $50, and so I'm at 32.
Talk about my mic. Am I popping? Is my voice too loud? I can back up like this. I can remain back here. Is that fine? I can pop my P's. How's that sound?
Hold on, let me turn this.
I could just let me know. I can just stay back here.
Oh, that's like.
Oh.
Sorry, we're not even like watching the video stream, so we have no idea what it looks like. So like
we're watching the Facebook stream. Ah, that's unfortunate.
Stupid. Sorry.
Wow.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
That should be alright. Yeah. Thank you though. I appreciate that.
My man, you misunderstood.
Yeah, the day I get to 50, so if you want to help me get to 50,
drop a sub, follow, donate.
Right, I'm gonna. Do you remember what you were gonna say before I about to just cut through and then we'll go back to you? And then I still remember what I was gonna say before.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so I'm just gonna brief real quick, right? So this is me because this whole real talks thing and everything. So I'm someone who is really into anthropology, which is just the study of humans. I'm also into holistic health, so helping people optimize their life to become the best versions of themselves. And I've always been into mental health, and that's still my strong suit, hence this stream. But I've been studying food and nutrition and how it works in the body, and then neuroscience and stuff like that. And I've always had a natural gravitation to psychology, hence the mental health stuff. Because I knew that what I'm asking for in this life is to be kind of a huge deal, and not for the sake of being a huge deal, but understanding that when you are a huge deal, like in pop culture and stuff, you have influence. And the reason why influence is important to me is because I think there are certain things that need to be talked about constantly. I think perspective, there's not enough of it. I think there needs to be more empathy, way more self-love. And I think that most people settle too much and they kind of abandon the core of who they are. And I see it. So I'm not just guessing, like I've been doing this for a long time, but I just haven't been streaming for a long time. But I've been testing. I played with YouTube, played with blogging for years, Instagram stories and stories in general. I'm super brutal on Snap stories and Instagram sometimes. Like I'm fucking brutal.
I still don't have you on Snapchat, by the way.
Okay, I'll find you. Yeah, I was gonna tag you, and I was like, I don't have you. So I'm trying to understand how we work, the physiology of how we function. So when someone says, "Hey, I'm depressed," instead of like offering traditional methods, which I don't stand for completely, or maybe even like maybe this much, maybe. So I'm an alternative guy because I believe in the holistic health, the holisticness of everything. Because how we're kind of like raised and everything is when we see a problem, we're like, let's go fix that thing without looking at the whole thing. So instead of being like, "Ow, I sprained my ankle," well, let's just do this and do this to treat it, right? Instead of doing that, you're like, well, why did you sprain your ankle in the first place? And then if you sprain it consistently or whatever, it's like, well, you have a weakness there and you're probably deficient in something. So let's figure out what that is and what else is going on. Like, are you stressed and blah, blah, blah. So you have to look at the mental health, the sleep, the food intake, and the, damn, I'm missing one. The food, sleep, movement, because movement's extremely important. So all of these things I'm really interested in because I feel like it can help push us to the next level. And I hate seeing people settle for essentially not being genuinely happy, because I see it all the time. And people are building rocky foundations and relationships with people that they shouldn't be doing it with. And when I tell you that, like, I'm responsible for a lot of things, like a lot of terrible things, you could say. So I come into people's lives and I fuck shit up. And I love saying that because it's true. And it can be, at the end of the day, it's all good intent and the results speak for themselves, but not everyone sees it that way. So like, my most recent and favorite example to go to is one of my homies. I've known him for like 7-8 years. And I've always noticed that, like, I'm like, there's just something, like, you're just holding back so much. And I feel like, and one of the biggest things was he loves dance, and we're dancers ourselves, and I've been dancing for a long time, vice versa, this guy, and then the homie over there. And he got into a relationship. I'm not knocking this relationship because the girl that he was with, she's beautiful and she's an amazing person. It was just them together and the circumstances of each person and not having a certain level of communication that made it not work. So, spoiler alert. So they've been together for a long time, and it wasn't until recently. So I run a dance group and I experiment a lot. And so this season I concentrated a shit ton on mental health. So we talked about a lot of ridiculous, hurtful, tear jerking, like this fucking hurts and it's terrifying type of stuff. Exercises, dance, sharing, and being there for each other, all that kind of stuff, right? So I facilitated this whole thing. Through that process, this dude, I was surprised he showed up, okay? Because he never comes through, or he comes once and he never shows up again. And so he comes through, he's coming consistently, and he's questioning it. And he's like, oh, like, I'm so scared of like what's happening, but I'm also so happy. I've never been this happy in my life. And so this guy, mind you, he proposed to someone, been with for a long time. Then he called it off, taking a break, right? And then called it off completely, the engagement, gone, done. And they're finished, they're done, right? And I know that I played a huge part in that. And then the relationship with the family, but I also was able to help him reach a certain level where, so he doesn't or didn't have a relationship with his parents his whole life, and he just was scared of them, and he also didn't have a clear understanding of his relationship with his sister. He doesn't really talk to her, whatever. And now, after working with him and literally creating a plan one night, next fucking day, blows my mind. This guy, he was like, guess what I did? I was like, what? He was like, I told my mama I love her. And I was like, bro. I was like, what the fuck? He doesn't talk to her and he's terrified of her. And I was like, bro, like, are you fucking serious? And then he had said the same thing to his dad. And I was like, shit. And so when I'd say like all this stuff I'm doing right now and what you're watching, like what happens around here and the things that I'm trying to do, you could say is a more, I want to say more modern version of what I think therapy should be. And I have friends who are in therapy and they'll compare me to the therapist and they're just like, oh, we talked about it in therapy, we did that in therapy today, or like whatever. I'm just like, cool. Or like a therapeutic
Maybe you should
rehabilitation program, and they're like, oh, we did a lot of those things that you talked about. I was like, that's great, I didn't go to school for it. And so it's cool, right? So I'm trying to do all these things, but in a more like I genuinely care about. There's so much, and I'm gonna stop because I don't want to keep going because that can go for a while, because of like the vision, the picture, and all that kind of stuff. You'll get to know as if you're gonna jump into this stream, you're gonna learn more about me. But I embody all those things for very specific reasons. Because it's the right thing to do and I love it, but I want to do it in a non-traditional way. I don't want to walk that path. I'm also not interested in the what I see as old school, which is, it's still valid and people do it and it's going to be around for a long time, which is the transaction model of business. Now I'm talking about money, right? So like, here's $5, do something for me. I'm not into that. So I like the idea of being able to say yes to everyone. And I've been a person who's said a lot of yeses and said a lot of no's, so now I know where my balance is. I have a lot to give, and so I just want to give my time because I understand the value of investing in one person, and I fucking do. And then they turn out to be this fucking beast. Justin's one of those people. You'll meet him for sure. I mentored him, and now it's like that time, that I put into one person, then they go out there and live their truth and they're impacting people their way, but with some of my roots. And so like, that's important to me. As long as they're really happy, genuinely happy, like that's my shit, right? So I want to be able to do that in different mediums. So through streaming, through video, through blogs, through whatever creative project, and to have people that believe in that and trust that because I've impacted them, hence the Patreon that you guys see, they are like, wow, whether I impact them directly, anyone who's actually my patron, I've actually had like a really good relationship with, and I've done something for them. I've gotten this into a really good space. And so they're like, yes, I really fuck with what he does. I don't care what he does. I just know that it's real. And like, here's a continuous donation. So I believe in not the per transaction model. Like if I was, for example, making like just even $3,000 a month, I don't need to be a therapist at an office or at my house and someone comes in and pays $50 or whatever. Like I don't want to close off myself to people who can't afford it, because there's a lot of people in my community that can't afford that kind of stuff. It's fucking stupid to me. And so if I have the capacity, the patience, the ability to give, then that's where it's at. And if people believe in that mission and they see the impact, then that's the whole reason for the Patreon and like the streaming and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy all these things, or else I wouldn't do them. I look forward to these every single Sunday, and that's why I have people like him on who like, he's a great man. Very simple. I was gonna go off by him, but I mean he's here, so you're
Oh, he's pretty accurate. I'm a very simple man.
yeah, it's very simple, great man. I fucking love him, and like
I'm a very one-track minded person.
you wanna be around amazing people. And I was like the hopefully as quick as I can version of like the stuff.
Yeah, that was his quick version.
Yeah, as quick as I can of like the type of shit that I do. So,
But you gotta be glad because he explains it quite thoroughly.
yes, and so that's it for now.
So-
if you're interested,
So
just-
he makes sure you have no questions. He really.
I try. So my purpose is to really help everyone achieve that fucking high performance, optimal, next level happiness and like good health and shit. And I ain't asking you for shit, but if you want to donate, that's my ask. But it's not like I'm gonna sell you a fucking course or I'm gonna charge you 10 million. Like that's.
Oh, and by the way, speaking about money, if you've gotten a chance,
God.
Expressive Movement has recently just released their full show / movie / documentary from our 2018 tour. It was our final show in Montreal, Canada. So, if you would like to purchase on DVD or Blu-ray, you can go to my Instagram or the Expressive Movement Instagram and press the link in bio to purchase yours for $20. And if you purchase it, you will also get a free Expressive Movement sweatshirt.
I'm making a face because this is funny as fuck to me. That didn't sound good at all. I started making a face because that just sounded really funny. But he's not.
I'm good at promotion. Like I said earlier, I have a really good radio voice.
He's not lying. So
Did you buy one?
Not yet. Because I was like, yo, y'all have it in 4K Blu-ray?
I could. Okay, let me tell you something about that. All right.
Oh yeah, because you're responsible for this stuff.
Let me fucking tell you the conversation that I had with Jeffrey about it. Okay.
So Jeffrey, you're not gonna watch this.
Jeffrey. No, I hope you watch this because you let me know how
I'm gonna give them background so that they're like, what? So okay, so the Expressive Movement. I actually joined in season 2. They're on season what? Going on 8 or 7?
Season 8.
We're going on season 8. I joined in season 2. That was a while back. So y'all don't know much about me, but before them, I was doing a lot. But they kind of being with them for one season gave me the final piece to really embark on a journey that changed my life. So being with them gave me so much. It gave me the foundation of like, wow, I've never felt this feeling about an entire group before. I feel safe. I feel accepted. I feel like my creativity and my drive matters in this space and that things can be done. Like when I say, let's try this, they're like, fuck yeah. Versus anywhere else, they're like, oh, but if you do the calculations, or like, that's 1 out of every, or like, no, you can't do it. It's not possible. There's no demand. And I'm like, I never forget that. And one of them are my close friends of today who said that. And I was like, and I fucking did it. Like 6 years later, built the dance community in Lowell. Yeah, so I played a huge part in that. But anyway, they helped me become better, and then he also joined Expressive Movement season 5.
2015. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Season 5 and season 6.
it's an amazing dance group that we've been affiliated with.
And Jeffrey, which is the director / co-creator of the group,
So that's one of my good friends.
one of our good friends.
Yes.
And so, since I've been with Express Movement, danced with them, performed with them, traveled with them, etc., I left the company last year to start pursuing my filmmaking business. And so the first person that I went to sort of get my foot in the door was Jeff. And I was like, all right, so I'm starting this film thing. The next time you guys want like a dance video or anything to help out or to help promote the EM brand, to help promote the crew, promote auditions, whatever, I will do that for you. And he said, mind you, I think the seasons haven't already started. Yeah, it had already started. Auditions had already finished. They had already started rehearsing and everything like that. And he said to me, because I remember we met at Mass Motion, right? We met at, you know where Mass Motion is?
I've been. I just don't remember where.
Yeah, so we were in the parking lot at Mass Motion. This was like a couple of weeks after I had gotten my camera. And he said to me, if you can make a promotional video for the tour in 2 weeks, then we'll talk. Then we'll go further. We'll continue. And I was like, okay. And so I went to one rehearsal. I went to one rehearsal. I filmed as much as I could of their rehearsal, and I busted my ass to make a little 30-second trailer promotional video for the tour. And he liked it. he liked it. He was satisfied with it, and I was like, okay, great. So I ended up making promotional videos for the tour, for each individual show on the tour throughout the season. And then after we came back from Montreal, I got a text message from Jeff saying, could you make us a movie? He said, movie. And I read that. And Jeff, if you ever get a chance to watch this, on my end of the conversation, I was like, this man is a fucking crazy person.
I was like, I'm about to record this.
How do you possibly think I could make a full-length movie out of just a couple little, bits and pieces of footage that I've gathered over the past 6 months? And he was just like, try your best. He was literally basically just like, try your best. And I was like, all right, fine. And
he's crazy.
I had absolutely nothing. I had no direction. I had no creative process started. I had no idea what I was going to do or how I was even going to do it. I started with nothing. Even though I had footage that I knew I was going to use because that's all I had.
Yep.
I had to use it. So I was like, all right, what could I do to turn this collage mishmash of footage that has no coherence to each other, nothing whatsoever. None of it makes sense. It's just a bunch of random shit that I filmed over a 6-month period. How could I turn this into a cohesive narrative that makes sense, right? So that was the problem that I was facing with. I was like, all right, what could I do? And then I realized that there isn't anything that I can do with the footage I have. So then I thought of doing post-tour interviews. It hit me like a bolt of lightning. I was sitting at my desk one day, and I was watching a movie or a YouTube video or a documentary, and there was an interview scene, right? I watched it and I was like, holy shit, I can do that, right? And so I committed to that, and I started reaching out to people to do it. And then I realized I don't have a fucking microphone to record their voices with. So I had to do research to find a cheap enough microphone that I can get within like 2 days, like off of Amazon, right? I found like this cheap lavalier microphone, which is basically those microphones that clip onto your shirt, those really small ones.
Yep.
Right? I found one for like $64 on Amazon. And in order for it to work on my camera, because usually the way it works, these lav microphones, they have a cable that runs down and it goes, the cable alone is supposed to go into an audio recorder.
Yes.
Like a 0H1 or whatever, it's a regular audio recorder. In order for it to work on a DSLR, you need an adapter and an extension cable. 2 other items that I had to individually search for, which I did end up finding after an entire day of research, which ended up costing me like another $24. I was like, fuck it, whatever. And I ordered it. The best part, I ordered it all in the same basket, right? It wasn't all separate. I ordered it all in the same transaction. And all of them were said to be arriving at a different date for each of them. None of them were the 2-day shipping that I had requested. All of them came in like a week and a half.
That's really bad.
So I was sitting there on my ass waiting, and I couldn't get anyone for an interview in, right? And they finally came. All 3 items finally came. The lav microphone worked. I was like, all right, I am fucking good to go for this. So I contacted as many people as I possibly could, because Jeff was getting a little bit impatient. Like understandably impatient, I understand. But you best believe you're gonna fucking wait. So, I got as many people as I could. And were you at Steph's pool party? No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
I'm not social.
I had Steph had like a pool party, and he wanted me to premiere the movie at the show, and mind you, it was in no way ready. Yeah. Not even close.
Oh my god.
So I told him, I was like, there's no absolute way that I can show what I have, which is nothing. So I'm just going to make the roughest of all rough cuts that I can make of this movie.
Fuck.
And what I had in place for the interviews at the beginning, I did a voiceover myself. I recorded a voiceover with a little narrative monologue that I had written down myself, and I performed it in front of the microphone. And it was just like a very sappy, humble, you guys are amazing, you guys did such a good job. Yeah. And like all this fucking bull crap. Yeah. And then I just showed the Montreal performance, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is so great. And I'm like, oh my god, there's no fucking way I can do this. And then afterwards, everyone thought it was, oh my god, it was so nice. I can't wait till the whole thing comes out. And I'm like, I can't wait either, because I just want this to be done and over with. And so I ended up getting people interviewed, and I put it all together. And then Jeff and I had a discussion on whether we wanted to sell it digitally or on disc. And I presented him with his options. I said, I know of a website that you can put this stuff up. It's called Selfie.
Never heard of it.
Where you can it's a very safe, reputable website that you can put this stuff online, digital products online that you can have them. People can buy, and then you download and stuff. Cool. Yeah, I found it because a lot of professional photographers and filmmakers that I know use it. That's how I know it.
I see.
And I trust those people. Those are very credible sources, so I know it's legit. And so Jeff finally said, no, we on do DVDs, and for the reason that he didn't want people pirating the movie, because you know how easy it is to send a file to somebody, right? Even though the file that I had was like 16 gigabytes, but it was all right. So he wanted it to be on regular DVD, and I was like, okay, why don't we do Blu-ray? We can do like half of it DVD and the other half Blu-ray, or we can do all Blu-ray, because Blu-ray is like a couple years in advance of standard DVDs, and people nowadays are more inclined to have Blu-ray players. Like, am I wrong for assuming that?
Honestly, I felt, in my humble opinion, and just being a basic ass consumer in that market, it was DVDs, then streaming. I skipped right over Blu-ray. I felt like Blu-rays were just for enthusiasts.
Yeah, okay.
It's still alive though.
It is still alive,
and
right?
I think that's for
also the other reason I opted for Blu-ray is because the quality is just so much better.
Yeah, it's way better.
It's way better. You can get such a clean, crisp, beautiful picture out of 4K Blu-ray. And I explained this to Jeff, and he was like, "Nope, standard DVDs. I don't care." And I was like, "Fine."
You should just show him like a YouTube video, like this is what it looks like if it was a DVD.
I should have.
And this is
I should have.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that he understands.
I should have. God damn it! I should have talked to you. Fuck. But okay, so I bought DVDs, right? And then I couldn't find a way. I was like so technologically inept when I'm usually so technologically savvy.
This person said, I also literally never owned a Blu-ray. Used to be stores that sold DVDs at the mall though.
Yeah, right. So,
okay. See? You know what? It's for like enthusiasts who are like...
so I was wrong. Fine. I was wrong. I was
I think both
that I was wrong.
would have been cool.
Yeah, both would have been cool. Hey, if you want it on DVD, I will happily make a copy for you, and you can buy it for $20. Okay.
Just either give me a digital or give me a Blu-ray, and then I'll just pay them. I would rather have
actually
4K.
Actually, $10 goes to me and $10 goes to EM, so we're splitting it.
Okay. Tight.
Yeah.
Then I'll give you $10. I give them $10.
Okay, so back to, I was so technologically inept when it came to burning and shit on the DVD. I had realized that the file size was way too big because the quality was way too good for an hour and 11-minute project.
I see.
Right? So I was like, how the fuck? Because like the space on the disc was like 120 minutes, like 4.7 gigabytes. Like it was really just that. Like it couldn't hold that much. So I had to find a way to size down, to drastically size down the file size to maybe around like 2.6 gigabytes rather than a huge 16 gigabyte file, right? It's like a huge downgrade. I had to find a way to do that while still retaining the quality that it has. Mm-hmm. And for 2 days straight, I was pulling my fucking hair out. I was so fucking, oh my god, I was ready to commit seppuku, which literally I will never do because I like myself way too much.
Yeah.
But I was feeling it. I was feeling it so hard. And I was telling Jeff, I was like, steam is coming out of my ears. I'm about to freaking throw a rock through my car windshield. I'm about to do all these fucked up things because I'm so angry. And then it dawned on me. An epiphany struck me like a bolt of lightning and said, "Oh, I found a way." Okay. And you think this is the end of the story? It's not.
Yo, these guys, they're going off about the Blu-ray DVD thing.
And you think that this is the end of the story, but it's not. It's not. I found a way. I burned it on my first disc.
He didn't compress it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't fucking compress it, all right? Jesus,
Yeah,
I know.
Clearly he didn't compress it.
I know this now, all right? I know this now. I just didn't know how to compress the file because I've never burned a huge file like this onto a DVD before. It was my first time ever doing this. So I was like, "Oh my god, how am I going to do this?" And I finally figured it out. I think it was like after a 2-day period of me going literally insane.
Yeah.
I figured it out. I burned it onto my first DVD. And it looked fine. It looked great. I tested it on another computer. I tested it on a DVD player. Everything worked fine. And there was 50 of them. And it took about 30 minutes each to burn it onto a disc. So to burn 50 discs, it took me approximately 25 hours of my life dedicated to burning those CDs, sitting at my desk, watching, and I didn't even have a disc drive for my computer. My computer doesn't have an optical drive to put discs in. It doesn't. So I had to go to Staples and buy an optical drive that plugged in via USB to my computer, which cost me another $50.
I was gonna go buy one of those.
Yeah, which cost me another $50, right? And now here I was sitting, this optical drive sitting on a pile of laundry next to my keyboard, just watching it all, just watching the stack of discs slowly rise up. And let me tell you, when I popped that final disc out of the tray, it was like a moment of pure euphoria and dopamine. I was like, it is all done. It is all done. I don't have to touch this anymore. I don't have to fucking deal with it. I'm gonna give this to Jeff, and he can go fuck himself. Yes, it's all done. Go away. Stop. Don't ever ask me to do anything like this ever again.
Shit.
I don't mean that. I was super passionate. I was tired. I was cranky. I was annoyed, and I had zero help with it whatsoever. And then Jeff was like, "Oh, can you make like a launch trailer for this?" I was like, "Fine." I went home after I delivered the DVDs. I went home and I made. I'll show you what I made. Oh, guess who followed me on Instagram, by the way? Rithi.
Oh shit.
This is cool.
I went to high school with him.
So I made this, which I'm sure you saw. Which I'm sure you saw this, right?
Yes, I saw that.
I made that the same day I sent I gave the DVDs to Jeff. Took me like half an hour to an hour,
Yeah.
and yeah, this was the last thing. This is the last thing I made for it, and now it's out. And now I'm done.
I want that 4K version. And I'm gonna post and be like, I got a 4K version, bitches.
And now you can purchase.
You should then launch a 4K version, right? And then you could say digital, right? And be like, they can pay 25 or 30, but if they already bought the DVD, they could pay $10 more. That is not a horrible idea. I don't want 4K. I'm like, you film in 4K. I want that 4K. Like,
I need to set a reminder for this. Stand by, please.
It says that may be a fair assumption for streamers, but not for viewers. Yeah. I just feel like the overall Twitch community, you typically knows a little something about PCs, but I obviously could be completely wrong, especially if people are just casually watching their favorite streamers on a cell phone or something. So you're right. Most laptops nowadays don't have optical drives. Facts. None of my the laptops that I've bought in the past few have not had those. Why would they not? Discs are not obsolete. For a thinner and lightweight form factor. That too, and just like fitting, like, because if you do away with it, then it also costs anyone who makes it less money to throw it in and have more space for anything else. Kind of just like people removing the headphone jack from a phone. That whole shebang. What if you want to go buy a game legally? It's going to come on a disc. Why would laptops not be prepared for this? I mean, to replace the disc, we got flash drives.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're slowly getting out of the age of buying.
And, Steam. Yeah, as soon as I switched from console to just having my own PC, I was like, wow, like this is nice. Everything is streamed, and I can just store stuff on a hard drive. And I'm like, hey, this is way better than going.
You don't have to have shelf upon shelf upon shelf upon shelf of DVDs and CDs and games.
It's the same conversation for music, you know. I never as a kid personally bought like discs of music.
Oh, I did.
I listened to the radio.
Let me tell you, I had a little folder. Your phone died, I think.
No way. Oh, well, we've been streaming for ever. Did it really die?
It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, it did.
Holy shit.
You know how this stream says every Sunday from 6 to 9 p.m.
6 to 9 p.m.
I always go over by at least an hour.
Fuck.
But I'd say, no, the longest I've gone was like 12:30 once. That was with Marnus, I think.
That's fucking crazy.
But I mean, because I enjoy the shit out of these. These are so fun. Especially when the community is like popping and we meet new friends.
Yeah, man.
People buy games on disc. Yeah, it's like I haven't bought a game on. I mean, yeah, if you're still a console owner, like sure.
I still have a console, but I'm pretty sure if I try to turn it on, it would burst into flames. That thing's been collecting dust for a year and a half.
It says
I haven't touched it.
If you go to a original store, it's on a disc. Same reason we all stream music instead of buying discs. Yeah, I was gonna say that not everyone has a credit card in Steam. Every Sunday from 6 to whenever. I remember to look at a clock. Yeah, I mean, I look at it right there. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I put 6 to 9, but as I do these, I'm like, maybe I should just actually make them longer and start. I actually probably gonna start them later too. Go from like 7 to whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoy these a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like I was saying, I had like a music
6 to 9. I also that too. 6 to 9. Yeah.
I had like a little book that was like two of these phones up. Well, 1.5 of these phones up, and like 1.5 of these phones wide.
Mm-hmm. And
it was like two CDs high, and like it had like these little flaps and folders of all these music artists, and it was this thick, filled with CDs. And every time we went on a road trip, this is some true 90s baby shit, all right?
Yep. My cousins.
You would open up the folder, you would stick the disc in the CD drive in your truck, and you burned your favorite mixes onto blank CDs. Those are the days.
I used to do that, actually. I used to burn music.
Right, yeah, everyone used to. Everyone around our age, everyone used to do that. Especially like in middle school. Damn, son.
But I understand not everyone is in that space, but a majority of the population is.
You'll always see those relatable posts on Facebook and Instagram talking about all this stuff that 90s babies only do. It's fucking cringy, but it's true.
I used to have a Sony Walkman.
Walkman? Oh.
A Walkman. I don't think. No, I've never owned a Walkman. MP3 players and CD players. CD players. Oh my god.
I used to have a CD player. I used to have like those big giant CVD players with the headphones. Oh man.
Yeah.
I used to play Linkin Park all day on that.
Oh god, that's some crazy throwback stuff. But yeah, I mean, everything is always.
Speaking of Jeff, look what he doing right now. Look what he doing as of 3 hours ago.
It's not working.
Yeah, he's not working. He's fucking goofing off.
No, it's okay. He works hard. Oh shit. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, I was gonna say it's always gonna be about the convenience of the customers. We're a very convenience-based species, which could also be the death of us. And I really hope that that's not the case. But y'all know that, right?
You remember Alyssa Milat, right?
I do.
This is what she's doing right now.
What should I be for Halloween this year?
Yeah. Yeah, have you been keeping up with what she's been doing?
Nope.
She's fucking going crazy right now.
What do you
In
mean?
a good way. Like,
I hung out with her once, and I have yet.
she used to be...
She's dope.
Yeah, she used to go to RDA like a lot. She used to teach at RDA like while I was teaching there.
Yeah.
And she was like a part of EM like in the first season that I was there, season 5.
Mm-hmm.
She was a trainer. She was a trainee, apprentice.
I wasn't around that season, I don't think. I wasn't around. I hung out with her once, and she... a little psychic. I don't know if we've ever talked about psychic and spirituality and stuff.
I'm not into that.
Or where you stand, yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing with like psychic spirituality and witchcraft and all that stuff. It's like
Whenever I hear witchcraft, I'm like, what?
it's like I almost dated a girl who was like into witchcraft. Best decision of my life to not go through with it. She's all about the universe is alive, everything is connected, and I'm like, just stop. That's a given. Drop it.
Yes.
What?
No, I was saying yes. But then this person have opinions. Go ahead. Drop it. Drop your opinions. I'm all about opinions. I have opinions too.
Everyone's opinions matter except mine. I don't give a shit about my own opinions. Which is why in a discussion, you'll rarely ever see me speak my opinion. Ever. Because my opinion ain't worth jack shit.
That's interesting. I like...
For instance, whenever I'm in an argument, I always speak from an unbiased, factual perspective.
Yes.
Because in an argument, even in a conversation, your opinions don't matter.
I mix it.
Yeah.
I throw whatever facts I know, and then I like throwing in personal experience and other people's experience and opinions for the sake of perspective. If we don't know what the ultimate is. Like when people like to say, like defining stuff, like for example, positivity and negativity. I think positivity and negativity is subjective.
Yeah, I don't like...
Whereas some people are like, this is positive, this is negative. I'd be like, actually, it just depends on your perspective.
Yeah, I don't really like having opinions anymore. Because you know who opened my eyes about not having opinions?
Not having opinions, okay.
Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know who that is? That man is the man. He is an astrophysicist of the Museum of Natural Science and History, and the director of the Hayden Planetarium.
Wow.
He is probably one of the smartest people I have ever met in my life.
You said met. You met him?
No, I haven't met him. Sorry. I usually say I ever met in my life as like a standard general thing, but like, yeah, I've Neil deGrasse Tyson is probably the most enlightening man I've ever seen in my life. He's an educator above all else. And he He's an astrophysicist, which means his area of expertise is centered around the bleeding edge of what is not known about the cosmos and about the universe and the natural world that we live in. Right? Mm-hmm. He talks about all of that. Let me express to you a mind-blowing fact that keeps me up at night now. Okay? This is going to be like amongst other mind-blowing facts, okay? Mm-hmm. The time it would take to you to get to the nearest star to us, mind you, not a galaxy, not a solar system, not the nearest star to the sun would take you 50,000 light years away.
Which is many, many years.
That means if you were traveling at the speed of light, it would take you 50,000 years to get there. That's what I mean by light year, right? So just to give you perspective, okay? There is a galaxy out there that scientists have named and labeled to be M100, right? It's part of a calculating system. They have numerical names and stuff like that. And they have a galaxy M100 that is observed to be about or approximately 65 million light years away from our solar system. Okay? 65 million light years away.
I don't know.
So,
go ahead.
So that means light, listen to me, light from the asteroid that made the dinosaurs extinct is just now reaching that galaxy. So for instance, if you were a person out in that galaxy, in some solar system, on some planet surrounded by a star, with a telescope pointed up at the sky, looking deep into space, you could literally see the extinction of dinosaurs. That's cool.
That's fucking wild.
Because if you look up at the night sky at night, you don't see things as they are. You see things as they were. Because all the stars that you see, the light emitting from those stars has taken so long to reach our eyes. So you are not seeing all these stars, these planets in the sky as they currently are right now.
That fucks me up. Because I've never heard that before.
You are not seeing... So in a way...
We're seeing...
the past.
Yes. Which is fucking weird.
So, actually, that could almost be considered time traveling. Wow. Now, don't call me at like 4 in the morning because you can't get any sleep at night. Because you'll be sitting up in bed and thinking about, holy crap. And you'll be, every time you look...
That's fucking wild.
Every time you look up at the night sky now, you're going to see that. Most people, when they look up at the night sky, they feel small. Mm-hmm. That's because you had an ego that is indescribably huge to begin with. Yeah. When you think that the Earth, the Sun, and our solar system and the Milky Way galaxy is the center of the universe and it is so large, and then you observe everything else that is in the night sky, then you're like, oh shit, we're not in the center. We're just a little speck in this cosmic story. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Let me tell you something else. Right? We know for a fact that the universe is expanding.
Yes.
Right? And we know for a fact that dark energy and dark matter is making the universe accelerate in its expansion. Okay? We don't know what dark matter is, we don't know what dark energy is, but we know it's there, and they calculate this stuff. Okay. And they do math, and they do quantum physics to determine that it is actually there, affecting the acceleration of the universe. Okay. Right? And eventually, everything that is on the bleeding edge of the universe eventually is going to accelerate beyond our horizon. Which means it's going to expand so far to the point where we can't even see it anymore. Mm-hmm. So for instance, everything that we see in the sky, in the night sky, in space, interstellar space right now, at some point, from our perspective here on Earth, everything that you see in the sky is going to be completely gone in billions of years. So hypothetically, if the human race ends up living that amount of time, and the next generation of scientists and astrophysicists and stargazers, they're going to look up at the night sky not knowing a complete chapter of the entire universe ripped from their view. Everything that we saw, they will never see ever. Which makes me wonder, today, what if there was some other chapter ripped from our view that we can never see again?
I'd never sit and think about. That's not true. I come up with theories. That's amazing, and I'm not gonna sit and think too long about that shit because that's just gonna drive me off the walls, in the best way possible. But all the shit that we missed.
Yeah.
No, but that was dope.
Watch Neil deGrasse Tyson, because everything that I just said, I quoted from him.
Okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm telling you right now.
Just send me the name.
Yeah. I'll send you a video.
Okay, so we missed a lot. So here we go. We're gonna read all whatever y'all are saying. In an argument, I only speak objective. The universe is all connected. Like, stop. That's a given. In an argument, I only speak objectively. You know who doesn't have opinions? Robots. Humans have opinions, and you do if you'll use them or not.
I know I have opinions. I'm not saying I don't. I just don't like to use them.
Okay. Just cut them off. Okay, that's funny. Actually, if you were traveling at speed of light, you would be there almost instantly because you wouldn't experience the effect of time.
That's an interesting theory.
Never heard that one before. Jesus. All right. Light takes 50,000 years to get there as seen from a stationary observer standpoint.
Yeah, but we've observed light on Earth, based like light turning onto a lamp, and how far it takes that light to reach our eyes.
Yeah.
We've observed that. We observed that, and we know how fast it travels due to those calculations. So using that, we can determine. We can pretty much determine how fast that light travels due to the experiments that we have made with light here on Earth. I don't think light changes, or I don't think the speed of light changes if you're out in space or if you're out on another planet.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But it's interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Imagine if this man smoked some pot, he'd go on for hours.
Yeah, I don't smoke at all.
And he can still go on for hours, so it's okay. Also, the light from our star reached M100 about 15 million years ago.
Can I get a source for that? Where did you find that out? I like to read it. Not because I want to deny you. I really want to know, because if I'm wrong, I would love to find out. That'd be cool.
This person, he's going to lay in bed thinking every time I look up, wait a second, what is time?
Right.
That's just confusing now. Laugh my ass off. Just dark energy. This feels like a guy who walked into a lecture in the school. He doesn't even attend. He's just like, yeah, okay, okay.
No.
Unless that was me. I don't know. Unless
Uh-huh.
you're referring to me, I'm not sure. He's mostly... we're missing something here. I went on Twitch because the Facebook live stream was down a few minutes ago. The difference between the two is crazy quality-wise. Yeah, because...
That's his phone and that's his webcam.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're not here anymore, and I'm just seeing your thing on Facebook. I'm on my computer, so it's way different and better than streaming from my phone. But if you're here, say hello. I'm gonna scroll down in a sec. He's mostly right, so he deserves credit. IMO. I used to work out at Wallace Observatory, which is like 20 minutes from where they're streaming this. Incidentally, wait, what? Are you in Mass? But yeah.
But the way that I get my information is I hear it from a source.
Quantum mechanics. I don't fucking know shit about this stuff.
So I get my information from a singular source. When I hear it from that source, I don't immediately think this guy is telling the truth.
Yeah.
I think,
like I
wonder if that's true. Let me check.
Yeah.
Right? That's what nobody does. Everyone hears something and goes, "Oh, that seems about right." They don't fucking check. They don't do their fucking research ever. That pisses me off. Just because it comes from me, just because one article, one experiment comes from a singular source, and just because it seems legit, doesn't mean it is. Just because it has every single reason in the world to be completely and utterly legit, doesn't mean it is. In order to make a complete, objective, scientific truth, it requires a consensus of multiple experiments verified by different scientists that all reach the same conclusion. And once that happens, then we can all have this understanding, okay, no matter which way we do it, it all ends up coming down to the same result. That's when you can classify it as an objective truth, which means it is true whether or not you believe in it.
What someone said, what I was thinking earlier, I don't think that was the point. If you were moving at the speed of the light from that lamp, you wouldn't feel the effect of the passing time it took to get to your eyes. I was going to say something like that.
Well, yeah, of course you don't feel it, because our brains are not conditioned to feel. Our brains are not powerful or deceptive enough to actually register that. We just see light as it is. We have nothing else to compare it to.
You wouldn't age if you were moving at the speed of light. Okay.
I think you still would age. I just think
Slower.
a lot slower. Yeah, definitely a lot
I
slower.
think it's just like it's moving faster. That's it. You're just moving faster, so the years we just measure it different. Why the fuck do we measure it in years?
Because I don't know. I don't know why, but that's just how we do it.
I think it's just that we just move faster, and I guess we choose to measure it in years.
Yeah, it's because our time is so short in comparison to everything else.
Okay.
Like if we were to label something as 1,000,000 years, we don't even live long enough to have 1,000,000 years. And in the grand scheme of things, 1,000,000 years ain't worth shit. 1,000,000 years is like 2 minutes in the grand scheme of things. So which is why we water it down to our own lives. Yeah, so I actually love Einstein's theory of relativity. Einstein's theory of relativity actually corrected the things that Isaac Newton got wrong, which is really cool.
You can keep going. I'm just double checking Austin's page.
Who?
Austin, which is a native. Oh, okay. Got it. Sorry, got it. Sorry, there's so many people, and I need to try to make sure I remember a lot of things. Okay, so good, dope, fire, awesome. Connected. All right, dope.
So how about this? This isn't factual or objective, but this is just a theory, right? So
we still didn't get to all these comments. Wait, okay. Quantum mechanics. Do you know anything about quantum mechanics?
I don't. No.
All right, so we have no opinion on quantum.
I know quantum mechanics studies dark matter and studies dark energy, and it counts for a lot of things that we can't see, touch, hear, smell, or taste.
Okay.
I think it's cool, but I don't. It's not an.
I'm
It's
very
not a personal
very
interest of
ignorant
mine.
on it. I don't know much. I've heard a lot of scientists refer to it when they talk about certain subjects, and I basically relate them to those subjects.
The Earth is flat. It's a thing I read once, so it's true. That was just what you were saying.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact to fuck with
So
you.
fucking stupid.
Astronauts are on board the ISS right now are aging slower than you and me because we're on Earth and they're moving closer to sea and thus literally age slower. I forgot where that. If was there a fucking movie about that or something? I think there was about some lady that just goes like this around the earth really fast, and then she only comes down to do very specific things and goes back up and just does this. I think it was a movie or a TV series. I don't fucking know.
It's interesting.
But that's an interesting theory. Or is that a fact? No, it's a fact. That's a fact. What if it's not because... Okay, so maybe it's not the fact that they're moving fast. What if it's just because of everything that we're exposed to on Earth that they're not exposed to up there?
What, like...
I don't know. I'm just making the conditions, like the environment.
The conditions living on Earth affect our aging, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. Well, yeah. I'll give you yes, it does. Of course, because of disease and everything like that, and viruses that go airline, and then that. But if you were out in space without a spacesuit, you would die instantly. Instantly.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
So if you were completely protected in space,
yeah,
that theory might be put into practice, and it might be true.
Yeah.
But if you were just you and me, and I went up to space, you'd.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know.
So I mean,
so
like
technically,
being in the suits and shit. So
yeah. So here's another theory that I love, right? So do you consider the human race to be, this is a rhetorical question, intelligent?
Say that one more time.
Do you consider humans to be intelligent? Yes.
Do I consider humans to be intelligent?
Yes. And yes, you do.
Sure.
Because we have nothing else to compare it to. And yes, we do. We have a lot of stuff to compare it to, and that is all of the other species on this earth that in no way, shape, or form has even come close to the things that we have achieved in the last couple thousand years. Okay? So that we have it in our brains, looking at all these other species and looking at everything that we've done, it's like, wow, we must be some smart motherfuckers, right? So, what is the next closest relative to humans in terms of DNA? What are they called?
Mushrooms.
No, like in terms of animals, like chimpanzees, right?
Yeah.
They're like, and what's like the DNA difference? Like what, 2%?
I don't know this shit, guys.
So like I think like the DNA difference is like 2% or a 1% difference in DNA. That is the difference between us and chimpanzees. I'm pretty sure. And if you look at what the chimpanzees can do in terms of their intelligence, they can stack boxes, they can count, rudimentary sign language, maybe. Yeah. Our toddlers can do that.
Yeah.
Our small children can do that. And then we look at that 2% and we go, what a difference that makes. What a difference that makes. The difference between, stacking boxes and, writing symphonies and building skyscrapers and everything. Like we go like, wow, that's amazing. And so here's a question that I pose. What if the difference is as small as the 2%? What if the difference between stacking boxes and the Hubble telescope is as small as the 2% indicates? So what if there was another species somewhere out there which is 2% different than us?
I see.
What would we look like to them? Okay? So like we'll take like someone like Stephen Hawking, rest in peace, and roll him forward and be like, this guy can do quantum physics calculations in his head. He's like one of the smartest people we have. And then one guy in this other alien species is like, oh, just like little Timmy over here that just composed his 12th sonnet, and he just, we stick it on the fridge for him and everything like that. So I'm not saying this is in any way true. This is just a theory and an interesting question. Mm-hmm. So like, what if that difference, that 2% DNA difference, is as small as that 2%? Imagine if we were like imagine if there was like a 4% difference, or an 8% difference, or 12% difference. Imagine what that would be like.
Super Saiyans and
Yes.
like those things.
All of us would be just Bruce Lee equivalent.
and like that and like
Bruce Lee was like the closest thing to a Super Saiyan ever. From what I've been told, from what I've read.
okay. Let's see. So we're gonna go back up. Einstein's theory of relativity,
Which I love. I love Einstein's theory of relativity.
Fun puzzle. I know we're like really behind. There is a set of twins, and one of them joins a space program, then returned 5 Earth years later. Are they still twins?
Biologically, I would assume so. Yeah.
Wait, why is this a puzzle? There is
Just because they're not the same age again, that doesn't mean they're not biologically still twins.
Okay, I'm slow. Okay.
That's just a shot in the dark. I'm not giving you a definitive answer. That's just
Okay. I mean, kind of. Although Scott Kelly was pretty fucked up after the fact. They're no longer the same age. I mean, fuck all of that. Same age, but their parents will be different. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
How does Mike know Einstein but not know that you don't age if you travel? Let's see. I'm just learning this from y'all, or it is what it is. Y'all just read Ender's Game, lol. That's exactly what's going on. Oh, this is when I made the theory of that. That's exactly what's going on with a ton of people in space are not exposed to reality TV, so they age slower. I don't know if that's sarcasm. We have nothing to compare it to except a lot of things, Mike.
Okay.
When you said that,
Really cool.
that shit was funny as fuck.
I actually said that.
Well,
yeah.
people in
Maybe.
space are further out of gravity, and thus age slower. So you think gravity makes us old? Yeah, because the stress and all that stuff, and the limitations of our DNA and all the cells and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything. I'm over here like just tossing shit.
Absorbing all this information.
Yeah. Also, you can't really reach C since we have mass. But
That is true.
assuming
All of it is only a theory. Yeah.
um
Sorry, I need to like sit up more. Now.
assuming you could, the universe would then possibly end all around you as you didn't age and traveled infinitely fast. Boy.
All of that is just theory, and we can debate about that
You're not a photon.
for.
What if 2% was equal at 2%, Mike, 2018? This person's just quoting you. It's so funny.
What can I say? I'm a very popular person.
How real you want to go with the talk? Because I've done some weird shit on my mind. Alright. So, we've been talking about space shit that I have no knowledge about. But we also, on Deep and Real, we talk about
Talked about women.
women, life, passing. Okay, so we've had 3 talks: being an orphan, being homeless, PTSD, trauma, anxiety, depression, me being the reason for, not the reason, but being a factor in someone's engagement and then them calling it out. I'm a bunch of random shit. Girls, again. So there are no limits out here, man. We have the real talks to release and express and connect and to maybe even improve, educate ourselves, It starts with being vulnerable and being honest, which apparently doesn't happen as often in a lot of other people's worlds. This shit happens for me every day. What else we got? They're technically twins, right? But Scott Kelly's DNA is all fucked now, and they're far from genetically identical. What? Oh, I see.
Yeah, I understand what he said.
Okay, that makes sense. I see. But
Wait,
yeah,
is that like a real? Was that like a real thing? Did that actually happen, or did that? Well, what was the question that he first posed, anyways? The twin that went into the space program and
something like that. 5 years.
went into space.
Are they
Did that
still
actually
twins?
did that actually happen, or was that just a hypothetical situation?
Okay. What if though? It's just Mike, it's just a theory. Einstein and the theory has been observationally tested like a lot. If you butt fuck a chick and then she shits on your dick and then you fuck her proper, will she get pregnant though? What?
Nope.
Wait. I need to read that again. I think I'm getting tired.
I want to get in all kinds of
What?
belligerent.
Really?
We're getting into the realm of like.
Wait, why wouldn't she? Because there's poop? No, why is there poop? Or am I just making that up?
I don't understand.
You didn't say anything about
I didn't
poop.
even hear the question. Can you repeat that question?
If you ram a chick in the booty hole and then she sits on your magic stick proper, will she get preggers? I definitely changed up the sentence. Women question there.
So
I
if,
was like, what? That's normal.
so
That's
if you're-
nothing.
So if you're fucking her in the ass and then she sits on it, and then she takes a shit. Wait, did you?
There's no shits, right? I'm just like inserting
Do you-
shit. There's
do-
no shit. Oh wait, no, sorry. Then she
Do you
shit.
finish? 'Cause if
Oh,
you
shits.
don't, if you don't finish, then obviously not. I mean, if some chick brown-eyed me in the middle of it, then I'd go soft real quick. I'd be like, I'm going home, or you're going home because it's my
Oh,
house.
God.
You best be out of here. I ain't having none of that, son. No boy.
Yeah, of course it's still possible. I don't think poop acts as a shield. But
Poop acts as a shield.
unless it gets in the way,
Yo,
like
fuck birth control.
that's disgusting. Okay.
Oh my god.
If you ask questions that you already know the answer to just to see the response, are you a troll or an idiot?
Neither.
Yeah, you don't have to be either.
Neither. You if you're asking questions that you already know the answer to, you just want to like.
Sometimes like affirmation or just hearing it helps. Repetition,
Yeah.
practice. Yeah. I do that a lot actually. I ask questions, but it's intended for like an audience. And I know the answer, or at least my answer, or maybe it is an objective answer, but that's just, I guess it depends on the context, your perspective, I guess.
Well, it depends on the question.
Yeah, and that too. Not for real. I like what you got going. Keep it up. Look up numbnuts. What is that? Is that like on Google or on YouTube?
Numbnuts?
What is that?
Numbnuts is a derogatory term used if you want to insult somebody.
Well,
Like, listen up, numbnuts.
that's cute. The twin astronauts, one went to space, one stayed on Earth for about a year apart. The space lad is messed up and younger than the other one now. It's a real thing that happened. Look up Scott Kelly.
Oh, really? Wow.
It has to be the Earth's conditions then.
Scott Kelly, you said? Scott Kelly. All right, I'm going to look that up. That's really interesting. That's cool.
What have I
I'm
done?
going to look that up right now, actually. Scott Kelly.
You asked a question and we answered. No games out here. Like, ask away or share what you will. There are no boundaries. The only
Scott
boundaries
Joseph
that
Kelly
exist
is an
are the
engineer,
ones that you
retired
make
American
for
astronaut,
yourself.
and a retired U.S. Navy captain, a veteran of 4 space flights. Kelly commanded the International Space Station on Expedition 26, 45, and 46. Kelly's first space flight was as pilot of the Space Shuttle Discovery during STS-103 in December of 1999. Is that accurate? Am I talking about the right person? I don't know.
I'm gonna wrap up because
I can see. I'm talking about the right person. There's his twin right there.
just gotta poop.
What, are we done?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna wrap up, and so you can wrap first, and then I'll finish.
Oh, all right, yeah. Well, thank you to
Whatever.
everyone who has come out to the stream today. It was awesome to get some stuff off the chest, and also
Off the chest.
also get some of your questions in and have nice talks with you lovely people. I would love to be back as soon as humanly possible because I live for this stuff. I I live for this man right here.
Thank you.
He is a wonderful soul and a wonderful human being, and I hope everyone on Earth eventually has a chance to meet him.
I hope you get to meet him. Mike B. Shea, like that? Instagram?
Yeah, Mike B. Shea. Yeah.
That's his Instagram.
I'm a photographer, videographer. If you're ever interested or in the Boston area and want a photo or video done of anything, please contact me. Ciao.
What the hell was I gonna say for an outro? Oh, if y'all wanna be on the stream and like talk, I drop a schedule every month. I'm still playing around with it. So you can just book a session. All of it's free. You just come on here. I usually talk through Discord. And then it's just this. You come with whatever you want to talk about, and then if the community's popping, then the community's popping. Yeah. I have lots of plans for the future. I took a step back from a lot of things just to recoup and to focus on other things. But these are one of my favorite things of all time that I do, and I'm also kind of focused on trying to go take a dookie, so I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I really enjoyed meeting some of you guys. Hopefully I get some real names instead of these usernames. I like knowing people by names instead of, because now I know Saucy Wiggles is Austin Wiggles, or did I say it's not Austin Wiggles, it's Austin Wiggly. I'm gonna get all mixed up, but yeah. We bring on different people all the time. I'm most active on my Instagram stories, so that's where I'm at.
Also, I noticed the cool, neat little bounce light technique that you're using.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that.
yeah. Yeah, I got a dip, so I gotta thank you guys. I appreciate you, and if you want to talk about anything, you can DM me, message me, book a session with me, whatever. I'm here to help. It's basically my life, and I love doing that as best as I can. On top of studying holistic health and like anthropology, I'm studying marketing, because marketing is obviously really important. We've learned a lot. Thank you. See you next Sunday. Jumriap Leah. That was Cambodian or Khmer, whatever you want to call it. That was a long stream. Peace.